Welcome back, Exiles, for Event 24. And this is a special one. Sunder Showdown in a race to Malachi. We have some of the best melee players going head-to-head using arguably one of the best skills in Path of Exile racing right now. Honestly, this is equivalent to like a world championship in PoE. So this is going to be extremely hype, extremely close, extremely fun. Casting this event is legendary streamer and racer Rise QT, and joining him is Gazzy TV, currently sailing on one of the biggest clouds I've ever seen. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, well, thanks so much for the introduction. I would even go as far as to saying the best players, the best Sunder players, and the best ability in PoE, at least for racing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's even used for most of the melee abilities when it comes to racing, leveling in the leagues as well. Most people go for Sunder and then opt into other melee abilities or War Chief Totems and whatnot as well.
Oh, yeah. It's even gotten that bad that even on a Ranger, you still want to get used to Sunder because it's going to be the best ability to level with. So definitely standing out. But yeah, let's introduce the players. So in the top left, I believe, we have DeadandDoom, who's everybody known by now. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody knows DeadandDoom, right? That's totally fine. Probably to a lot of people, he's the pick for the win, just because people are most familiar with him. But we've also got Guccipradas, who's another familiar face. Some might say a second of the two when it comes to actually racing. He's had a lot of really great results. I believe they had a 2v2 race that they did together. They played on like 400 ping. It was really crazy. And then we've got Helmannn, who's a little bit of a... And this is really weird to say. It's really weird because Helmannn is a little bit of a dark horse here because he hasn't been practicing as far as I know because he's been having some housing issues, and now he's coming in. Formerly known as the best duelist player, but right now we're not exactly sure where he stands. What do you think, Gazzy? How is it gonna look for him?
I mean, I've seen Helmannn race for a handful of years already, and I think that with his expertise and his experience in previous races, I think he can do really well and should not be underestimated. And in this case, at least, especially coming from the experience he has as a duelist specifically. So I think that Helmannn can do really well with this specific race. And Sunder is not a very hard ability to do, so it's going to be more about the general knowledge about how you progress through the content rather than the actual ability usage. And since there won't be any differences between it. So I think Helmannn is in a really good position here. Right. And in the bottom right corner, we got Fightgarr joining us in as well, and obviously playing a duelist as the rest of the people. I haven't seen Fightgarr race myself. Have you seen him race a few times before, Rice?
Fightgarr uploads videos. I've never really seen him race on stream, but I know he does a lot of runs, and if I were to go off of results, at least recently, I would say he is either equal to skill to DeadandDoom or very, very shortly behind. He's had some really amazing results, and in the past patch, he had crazy runs, and he motivated everybody to play, because every time anybody did any sort of run on any character, Fightgarr would just be like, hey, but I did this 5 minutes faster than you, try again. So...
That's going to be interesting to see if he's on that level, which I was assuming since it's a Sunder Smackdown showcasing here in the stream right now. So it's going to be a really nice, interesting race to see, despite it being a rather dull ability. I think we all can agree on that. But since it's all being used by the same players, all the players in the race, I think it's going to be very interesting to see the skills in terms of handling the gear and crafting as you go, and to see if we have any variations in terms of specs as well between all the four characters.
Oh yeah, I think definitely it's going to boil down to gear management, really how you put on those, well, everybody's duelist, so I guess everybody's just wearing a chest piece, but when exactly you put up what item for what fight, and then Leap Slam usage. Leap Slam is huge. I think the reason why DeadandDoom stands out so much is definitely his Leap Slam play. When it comes to Sunder, you just kind of smack the ground and everything dies. But Leap Slam really makes a massive difference. And Helmannn is known as the Leap Slam god, the original. So,
absolutely.
We'll see. We'll see if this stands through. I'm personally not gonna lie. I'm hoping Helmann's gonna win, but he is a little bit of an underdog. I think. Just everybody's been practicing so much, you know. Gucci's been practicing. You know, I even saw him being frustrated because he's been introduced as the shadow player many times, and Gucci's just like, why are you guys saying I'm a shadow player? All I do is play duelist, and all I ever see him doing, except the spectral throw right now, is practice vol kills with Sunder. So
Yeah.
he's been definitely trying to step it up. So I would say formerly a caster player, but right now fully transitioned into the duelist lifestyle. And something also I guess maybe that could be important to point out is that I think DeadandDoom is more comfortable with Marauder than Duelist. So despite it being Sunder, either way, those attack speed changes, those weapon specific changes, make a pretty big difference because with a Duelist, you're not necessarily stuck with one weapon. You can use a mace or you can use an axe. Most people think there's a big damage difference. There's really not. Attack speed looks pretty similar too. It's just that maces have a little bit less damage, but a smaller damage variance, while with axes, they have a higher top end.
Yeah, exactly. What I think is going to be really interesting to see, especially coming from someone that is more in line with playing the Marauder and more comfortable with that compared to the Duelist, is the mana usage as well. Because Leap Slime is, well, draining your mana really effectively. And I remember from the race I was in as well, I chose to run with a lower level mana flask to not have it, go fully, so I could Leap Slam whilst it was still regenerating. So we'll see if we'll see some of that action in this race as well.
Definitely so, yeah. Gucci's like getting used to the speed already. I don't know.
Well, absolutely.
Very soon. But this is probably how the clear speed is going to look like very soon. Something that we might have not mentioned to anybody who missed it, this is a pretty unique race also because it's a Malachi kill, which I don't believe we've had yet.
Not that I recall, at least. It's going to be a nice change of pace compared to the original Isara kills. Because, quite frankly, nobody likes the lab, right?
I mean, I like the lab. The lab doesn't like me, though. In my race that I participated in, the lab totally kicked my ass, so... We'll see.
It's gonna be nice with Malachi since the Malachi fight itself. I mean, we've seen some of us has played the beta before it got severely nerfed, which was somewhat needed. It might have been a little bit overkill nerfed in my opinion, but honestly, like Malachi fight itself is a pretty cool fight, and it has a few elements in there. It's gonna be very interesting to see.
Oh yeah, definitely so. All I can look at right now is Helmann's classic smile coming through. Really cheers me up every time. This man knows what he's doing. Also, you can see that DeadandDoom coming out with the really professional -2 timer. Oh, apparently Helmmann. We got information that Helmmann is using NeverSink's filter. That doesn't seem optimal.
Last time I saw Helmmann, he had like his bed in the background. Did he move his computer?
I think he moved to a different house, actually.
Even so, all right. We'll see if that house brings him some streamer RNG in this race.
Well, hopefully, yeah, I think so. Gucci also looking, I think he's got a new microphone too. Maybe during the interview, we're actually going to be able to tell what he's saying. You know?
Yeah.
But I think, oh man, this should be so close, but at the same time, I don't want it to be close. I want Helmmann to show that he is still the king of duelists. All these pretenders coming in, practicing duelist, everybody's saying, ooh, DeadandDoom this, DeadandDoom that, oh, Fightgarr did a good run, Gucci's been practicing a lot, but Helmmann is where it's at. He really has to show here that he doesn't care. And that's what he's always done. Helmmann was known for that. Whenever people were like, boo-hoo, people are cheating in Path of Exile Racing, Helmmann was like, I don't care if people are map packing, I'm still gonna win. And that's what he did.
Exactly. Another point to point out here, I just saw Helmmann made a huge change right now. He went from the NeverSinks filter and using Morse loot filter right now. See if that brings it better.
And I see Morse coming in the chat saying, Mao, if this is my old filter, he's so fucked. There is a possibility that Helmannn might be using a two-handed weapon filter or so. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and there the
But
race is
they're
off.
off. Helmann's not moving. He doesn't. He's giving them a little bit of a handicap. He's like, I don't really care that much. There we go.
He's already stated off the start there, giving the other guys a few seconds head start just to show that he can win despite this.
Oh yeah. Oh, with the hair, really. Oh, we've got DeadandDoom first to the chest.
Helmut even takes a detour into a dead end just for lulz.
What is this guy doing? Is he really not taking anybody else that seriously?
Clearly.
I don't know, Helmannn.
He hasn't even seen Brutus. Sorry, Hillock, whilst the other guys have already killed him. Gucci's the first one to go in, I think. Yes, he's going into Line Ice Watch.
Let's see how that's gonna work out. Yeah, the layouts can be very different. I believe Fightgarr just picked up a rare weapon. That is crazy. We'll see how this goes for them in terms of muling. Helmannn has boots equipped, but they're white. Nothing too suspicious there. Gucci with the iron ring, very nice. Oh, he's struggling a little bit. He has to sell his gloves. Yeah, he didn't have enough for the Onslaught gem, but he's got 2 iron rings. That's massive. That's huge.
Absolutely. And we got Fightgarr got one of them at least. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah, DeadandDoom also with 1 iron ring. Helmannn in town now. None of the players really checking for movement speed boosts from what I've seen. Don't see any 3 links.
Helmannn picked up a pair of gloves so he can change his weapon immediately once he got the levels, because he got a green and red color on that one in his inventory, so he's ready for that as well. And he did get an iron ring at least.
Yeah, so far looking pretty good, to be honest. Nothing really standing out outside of Gucci's 2nd iron ring, but everybody's got 1 iron ring, so it should be pretty even here. And we have the results of the poll that you guys worked on. It's DeadandDoom with 135 votes, 57%. 57% thinks that DeadandDoom will win. 2nd place, Helmannn, my boy, 27%. And then not much belief in the other players. 8.1 for Gucci, come on guys. And Fightgarr with 7.2%. I can understand Fightgarr. Not that many people. Oh, somebody's dying. It's Fightgarr. Uh-oh, Fightgarr. Hello. Can't be dying this early on. The penalty is 2 minutes, I believe. So
you can't really die, at least not this early in the race. You should never even be in that risky situation.
I mean, some players might say that it's not efficient to run the Quicksilver Flask for duelists because you should be leap slamming. In my opinion, they're just scared of Hellrake. So
I think so as well. I mean, it does make yourself a lot faster in certain situations because leap slam has its mechanic. I personally think that for the races that goes above Act 3 should be picking up a Quicksilver.
Helmann's chilling. I don't think he's played much. Sadly, he probably will be falling a little bit behind because if he has not played that much. Mud Flats and Coast and even Submerged has quite a bit of new layouts, so he could be getting lost. He did get a pretty unfortunate layout, one of the new ones, and that cost him quite a bit of time, while the other players are all 3 already in Submerged, with Guccipradas entering there first.
Yeah, and we see there Gucci just hit the stairs, so he's almost into ledge already.
Oh, wow.
Fightgarr is still trying to find that set of stairs.
Yeah, that's a really fast ledge from Gucci. That's going to be, like 4.5. Usually when you're doing this, a under 5... Oh, he's got an Elrond in the zone. Maybe I spoke too soon. That Master will definitely mess up his instance quite a bit, but usually if you've got... You should be really happy with an under 5 ledge. And Gucci's looking for way more than the usual under 5 ledge. But the other players are quickly catching up while Gucci's struggling a little bit with his Elrond. And actually, DeadandDoom will be the first one to enter ledge. All 3 players on an amazing pace. With Helmannn falling behind a little bit, but he's just now entering Submerged. And as soon as he's going to be more familiar with the layouts, I'm sure he's going to pull through.
I think so as well. You can see that DeadandDoom got himself a red-green linked pair of gloves as well, so he can also change his weapons whenever he wants to. The gloves that Helmannn picked up in the start, he actually got them blue. I think he transmutated or he found a pair of new ones with red and green linked. Got some life and life gain on kills, so that's pretty good at this point of the game.
Helmannn drops a transmute. That's gonna be make a pretty big difference. With Marauder, you get all the gems automatically. However, with Duelist, you have to buy the gems. You don't get Sunder. You have to buy it from Nessa. But the big thing right now, and part of why this person is in the lead, is DeadandDoom has a 3-link, which is massive. He has the red, green, but it's in his weapon. We'll see how long he will choose to use that for. If it's worth it even at level 6. He's just now hit level 5, so we're gonna see that soon enough.
That onslaught is so strong early on.
Yeah, sitting on fish scale gloves too, and a battered helmet. Honestly, DeadandDoom's gear is looking amazing. The only
heuristic sash now as well.
Yeah, the only other player that's following that up, I would say, is Gucci with that second Iron Ring. But DeadandDoom's gear right now, he could go to Brutus right now with those small flasks, and he would kill them without a problem. Hitting a massive blue pack too. Whew. I mean, come on. RNG is definitely favoring him quite a bit, with Helmannn also hitting a massive blue pack. Very nice.
It's looking good though. We'll see who ends out getting out of ledge the fastest as well. Because the experience penalty is going to be quite severe if you stay too long in the ledge compared to progressing further. So it's all about, killing the right amount of packs, and these guys are so experienced in terms of racing. So I don't think we should see any sort of problem with that. But then again, I see DeadandDoom hitting a lot of white packs quite ineffectively a few times here and there. But he is in the lead, it seems.
Well, that's the thing. Usually, you play your best when you're the underdog, when you're not getting any RNG. You've got more time to think. You're going a little bit slower. You really think about your every move. But when you're getting these sort of items that he's getting, you don't have nearly as much time to think. And you can see that how much it's giving him, really, because ledge usually doesn't differentiate much in the length of it, but he's already in climb. And yeah, the other players weren't really far behind him. So he's really sped up. On top of it, he had 3 massive blue packs, hitting another one just now. Jesus. RNG is definitely crazy for him right now. But we'll see if the pressure gets to him. These sort of runs make these are the world records, but these are also the chokes. This is where the chokes come in.
Exactly.
Wow, all players going through attack speed. I'm actually kind of surprised. We'll see if... I'm not sure if Helmannn chose the same route, because originally you wouldn't fully go through the attack speed. Yeah, Helmannn going with the old two-handed way of leveling, opting to go pick up a little bit more evasion, allowing him to get hit a little bit less, therefore getting less stunned. Interesting how that's going to pan out for everybody.
Yeah, we'll see. There we saw a Fightgarr just drop really low on the wheel skeletons.
Those little wheel things, they bite. They hit for a lot. I've seen many people died there. But we've got DeadandDoom in prison. 8-minute prison. Holy...
That's really good.
That's insane.
Is he aware that it's a Malachi race and not a 12-minute Brutus kill?
Looking at his gear, I think he's well aware. He has his second Iron Ring. He picked up his added fire, 4 Wisdom Scroll, and a Blacksmith Stone. This is looking like an amazing run. Well, I didn't quite see it just yet.
DeadandDoom is sitting on a red-green 3-link chess piece. As soon as he gets that Art of the Gladiator node on the tree, he's going to be able to equip that and then completely ignore what he has on his weapons and just use that until he gets a 4-link pretty much. It's looking really, really good.
Crazy. But honestly, he spent quite a bit of time in town. He opted to go for that weapon pickup. Oh, yeah. I think he logged out. I'm not exactly sure what he did. He did something. I think he thought that it was a dead end, and then he logged.
Possibly. I see Fightgarr just entered into the prison as well, and he's in town doing his trades at the moment.
Yep, and you can see that Fightgarr really showing his prowess with the cleave. Because early on he had to struggle a little bit with those newer layouts, but now that it's fair game again, he's caught up, and he's on the same pace as Fightgarr and Gucci, really.
Yeah.
Oh, DeadandDoom killing an Essence, getting a Hatred Essence right now We'll see if he's going to opt to go for a weapon maybe, or if it's going to be a piece of gear. It is a Malachi race, so I think most of these players will be quite confident with not having that much gear, you know? Malachi is a pretty okay kill. You don't really need to gather as much gear as you do for a safe Kitava. We'll see if he goes for the risky strat. Gucci went the wrong way, had to run all the way back. DeadandDoom already in upper, but really with an 8-minute prison having a 10-minute upper, yeah, he spent quite a bit of time in town. We'll see if all of this pays off. Now using the 3-link, 2 3-links so far. Still using the Rested Sword, I believe, though. As for weapons, Helmannn actually has the best weapons because... Oh, no, excuse me. Gucci has a...
Jade Hatchet.
Yeah, a Jade Hatchet and a Copper Sword. He's got the best weapons right now. Early on, players will use those swords. Obviously, you can't play swords with Sunder, but for cleave, it really doesn't make much of a difference. It's kind of like axes and maces for your Sunder setup. Oh, and DeadandDoom entering Wardens. Holy crap. I just can't stop talking about him because he's entering Wardens. He's got fully maxed out gear. You literally cannot have better gear than he does right now outside of like 2 Quicksilver Flask drops. He's sitting on a Diamond Shrine. Obviously, this isn't going to play a role in the fight itself, but my goodness.
The only thing he's lacking is like a Mana Regen Amulet, but that's not really needed at this point either. So I think he's going to be killing Brutus really fast now.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a really fast
kill
kill
look
here.
at that.
Doesn't even go anywhere in the back.
Oh, that is beautiful. Look at that.
Wow, that is how fast you usually kill Brutus with Molten Strike, but these players can only use cleave, and that was ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah, and he got a new hatchet as well, red, green. Not that he needs the links anymore. We have Gucci going in towards Brutus as well, coming in on 2nd place there for now.
Are those movement speed boots? My god, DeadandDoom has movement speed boots, and he has a either yellow or blue boarding axe. Oh my goodness. How can they compete against this RNG? Well, Gucci is in 2nd place. We'll see, he's got two axes. Also really good gear outside of those gloves. He's only missing the fish scales, but he doesn't have movement speed boots. We'll see how his drops look like. But this Brutus kill should be significantly slower here. Or, well, no, actually it should be...
it looks faster, actually.
Yeah, it should be faster.
He got a little bit better weapons as well, but not by much, though. But it does look really good. That kill was smooth. And we have a Fightgarr coming in, and our boy Helmannn. He's not really doing what we're expecting him to do for now.
I mean, you can't really get lost in prison. I always say this whenever players are like, oh my gosh, I'm getting lost in prison a lot. You're not really getting lost all that much because you're still getting a lot of EXP. So as long as you're not backtracking, which he will, sadly, you're doing okay. He can see the exit. He did go for the right strategy, but RNG getting to him a little bit here. And yeah, the Elrond messing him over. With Fightgarr heading into Brutus, let's see how fast this goes. He does have better gear than anybody, because he's also got an Amber Amulet. Oh, as a big Gucci.
It looked good, Fightgar's fight versus Brutus there, but he didn't tank him straight off, so he could have cut off a few seconds there, but he did really well.
Yeah, but he's got those yellow gloves. We'll see if he gets attack speed. I would say that would be one of the determining factors in this race, whether or not players can get... Oh my god, he's gonna sell the gloves! No, Fightgarr, don't do it! He sold the gloves.
He sold it.
He sold the gloves, and he ID'd the blue gloves. Fightgarr, please. Don't do this.
But this is what you were talking about before. This point is where the choke starts happening, where you make small mistakes like that, and then realize it after you've sold it.
Yeah, he even thought about it for a second, but yeah, it didn't. His gloves are still decent, but ain't no attack speed on those. But who knows? Maybe he knew all along that those yellow gloves didn't have attack speed. With Helmannn hitting Brutus right now, let's see how fast. Oh, I think he's getting like good hits in, cause has to move. Oh, his gear is looking good. Those copper swords are just slightly worse. Ooh, drops a blacksmith leather scale boots. Very good drops for Helmannn. We'll see what he can get out of them. DeadandDoom hitting Raph. And he's level 10 already. Leap Slam has started. How's this transmute for the Sunder?
So one thing to note as well is that Helmannn was actually the only one using double strike for the Brutus fight as well. Everyone else used their cleave. I think the double strike looked really well because the speed, even though he had worse weapons, he did much better DPS than the other ones versus Brutus.
Yeah, that might also mean that he's disqualified, but let's not worry about it. Yeah, Helmannn doesn't need boots. Helmannn, oh, we got a rip! Guccipradas has just died to a sub-fizz Roa pack, I think? Damn. Oh, he's running back. He wants vengeance. Doesn't remake the instance. Actually, a lot of players seeing a lot of masters, especially Helmannn and a blue pack in there too. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Pushed it a little bit too far. Doesn't have as good of a chess piece as the other players, sadly. Yeah, that could have defended him. That's a triple red. But he's getting some blue packs back, so those 2 minutes, hopefully they're not going to make much of a difference, but he must be kicking himself in the head a little bit here.
Yeah, I think so as well. He's kind of quite not that far off behind from DeadandDoom as well. But he did lose those 2 minutes for that rip, so we'll see what happens there.
Ooh, Gucci doesn't have a transmute yet, so we'll see. He's gonna have to get enough drops from Merveil and take his time a little bit more looting on her, while DeadandDoom has already went to town, and yeah, he's just going to push forward. No need to go back to town. He's also going to be hitting level 10. Oh, actually, Gucci should be hitting level 10 too.
But that transmutation ore drop is so important for these type of races, as you don't get the reward. So without that, you'll sit in a situation where everyone else is going to skyrocket above you in terms of clear speed, whilst you're trying to farm for transmutation orb and then port back if you have a portal or a scroll to get back into the fight. And we now see DeadandDoom going into the first one to enter Merveil.
16 minutes and 40 seconds. That is really ridiculous pace, honestly. And that's also keeping in mind that they are not allowed to use Molten Strike. He has to be cleaving, but that damage is looking sick. Even gets the onslaught proc from the swords. Oh my goodness.
That is beautiful. Look at that. Oh, she's going down so fast.
Sick. Makes you think that cleave is actually better than multi-strike for single target, but no. It's just the amount of damage he's dishing out here with that saber.
Finishes off with a leap slam for good measure.
Drops boots. Still picks up the boots. Go for
15
all. Goes
movement
for all
speed.
Oh my god. I don't even know what to say at this point.
Holy shit. So about 15% movement speed as soon as he's able to use them on DeadandDoom. We see Gucci's almost coming into Merveil right now. And just at the same time, Helmannn entered the caverns.
Helmannn a little bit behind. Does log out. Hopefully he has enough items. I think I saw 18 transmute shards. Gucci hitting Merveil just now. Let's see how fast this fight goes for him. He has a worse main hand, but a better offhand weapon, so this should be pretty similar to what it was looking like with DeadandDoom. This is going to be a 90-minute Merveil. I would say that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
Most of the time, with DeadandDoom's time being really ridiculous, and a lot of the items that he's picking up now. Yeah, honestly, I would be, with those 15 MS boots, I would be kicking myself in the head a little bit that I didn't get that Quicksilver.
Yeah, exactly.
You might want to be running a lot more than leap slamming in this one. But just now he hits level 12 before he enters town, getting that Sunder. With Gucci taking the Merveil, not really getting any items out of it though.
I did get a unique, useless bow. I saw Helmannn actually did get his transportation ore by vendoring some random garbage. So he did pick up his Sunder, so he's good on that one. Did we see Fightgarr pick up his Sunder?
I'm not exactly sure. I know Gucci, Oh, Gucci? Wait, Gucci has 3 transmutes. Okay, I don't know why he was messing around with his inventory so much. Is that 3 transmutes? 2 transmutes? That was a lot of transmutes, however you look at it. I think he even picked up a maim, just in case he hits that 4-link. We'll see if it's gonna pay off for him. Maybe that's what he was going for. But Fightgarr fighting Merveil,
looking pretty slow, actually.
Looking pretty slow. I'm not exactly sure why, to be honest. His Lier is looking pretty good. Maybe just getting low rolls. Oh, he actually is not on a 3-link. He is not using Chance to Bleed right now.
Yeah,
He
and
does
he's
have a
using
2-link with added
Onslaught.
fire. Yeah,
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah, that's gonna cost you some time. He's sitting on those small flasks. Might be
He's actually linked cleave with Onslaught alone, nothing else. So he's
yeah.
basically running with us. Well, one socket's there.
Well, he did get some procs, so it kind of ended up working out. But DeadandDoom has, with his crazy RNG, has already hit the western waypoint and now is running back while none of the other players are in Act 2 yet. Helmannn hitting Merveil. He does have a 3-link red boarding axe, so that's probably going to play a pretty big role in the near future. Really, this is the big breaking point because boarding axes are a incredibly good weapon. Your next weapon is a cleaver at level 16, but those things aren't that great. They're pretty slow, and if you're doing it enough damage with Sunder anyway, why would you care about, higher DPS? As long as you're one-shotting, you're in it. So the next
Exactly.
really big weapon that's kind of speedy is at level 21. So this weapon makes a pretty big difference. Everybody except Fightgarr, I believe, has a blacksmith stone.
I think so. Yeah, we see one in Helmannn right there in this inventory. Helmannn again using double strike for the Merveil kill there. He does have Sunder, so we'll see whenever it's going to hit level 12 so we can use it.
Just now hits level 11, also a little bit under level. DeadandDoom hitting Chamber of Sins. Gucci making his way through the forest, going to be hitting level 13. Yeah, before Western most likely. So that's looking really great for him. And Fightgar's EXP is actually looking great. He might be a little bit behind in progression, sure, but just now hitting the waypoint, almost level 13. He does not have a boarding axe though, so definitely RNG so far has not been in favor of Fightgarr. No boarding axe. No, he had some problems with those transmutes.
Yeah.
No. He is getting a lot of EXP, so those blue packs were looking good on the way. As they are for DeadandDoom right now, as he's fighting a huge blue pack.
Indeed, yeah, he just seemed to be getting everything right now. Not just drops and everything, he's just getting blue pack after blue pack as well.
Yeah. Things are looking really good for DeadandDoom. We'll see. I mean, again, these under pressure situations can be very tilting. But so far, the only death that we've had was from Gucci.
Yeah. Gucci is doing pretty well though. He is catching up. He's got really fast leaps time there with the acceleration shrine as well. But DeadandDoom is in the lead right now, and I think Helmannn just got out of his southern forest farming and has been progressing out to the east of the town in Act 2. We'll see how this goes, because as soon as everyone starts using Sunder, it'll be coming to that point where everything is fair game and it's all about the internal skills of racing rather than the abilities.
Right, especially since there's not really that much differences in layouts. What happened?
Oh, Helmannn just got himself really nice stuffs right there. Got some good weapons there.
Oh yeah, some cleaver action, yeah. Killing a big boy rare. With DeadandDoom instantly killing Fidelitas. Holy crap, that was fast.
I just realized that, is this Morse loot filter? Because Helmann's dropped there. I saw 3 so-called unique colored drops, but they were not unique. They were white, apparently.
Oh yeah, that would have been a little bit much. He does pick up a 2-hander. Yeah, drops it immediately. Very good. I don't know. DeadandDoom's weapon not looking that hot. It's just a boarding axe. Nobody else really putting much effort into it. I think. Well, actually, most of these players are probably like, what sort of level are they looking for right now to kill Malachi? I would say maybe even 29. They might be going for just a really fast Malachi kill, really abusing that leap time, hitting level 29, equipping their decorative axe with all those blacksmith stones that they've gathered up, and yeah. Ooh, Fightgarr fighting an exile, but it's a ranged exile. Dropping a blacksmith, but not really much of anything else.
I think that if any ability can handle Malachi in really, really early levels, it's going to be Sunder. So I think we'll see some really early attempts on Malachi at least.
Yeah, I think they're really going to push it. I mean, it is pretty difficult if you're not doing lab, if you're not running a library, if you're not doing trials, then really being that level 30 so that when you're hitting mines so that you can keep up your XP all the way to Malachi can be very difficult. The density there is not looking that great, so I'm thinking that they're probably going to be getting a lot of EXP in Act 3, hitting probably like 20, maybe some players are even going to hit 27, and then hitting 29 in mines and just going for it.
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty something to be expected.
Depending on their weapons, I mean. What if they don't have a decorative axe?
Exactly.
Like Fightgarr right now, he's, he picked up he's getting a little bit desperate here. He did pick up a stone hammer, very slow level 15 base. It is a mace, but if it's a good one, I mean, maybe it's going to pay off with that single target, but he has 2 links. He has Ancestral Protector on a 2-link, his Sunder is on a 2-link. Gucci and DeadandDoom have a 3-link Protector and have a 3-link Sunder. Not exactly sure about Helmannn. Helmannn with the 3-link Sunder and a completely unlinked Protector. Oof. Really, DeadandDoom and Gucci showing their RNG prowess here with the DeadandDoom, especially, I think. He does have
absolutely.
Opting to go for Creighton. I really wonder what their choice is going to be for the bandits, if they're going to be helping Oak or if they're going to be killing everybody. The Oak kill takes a while, but 2 skill points, pretty useful. Ooh, yeah. Fightgarr saw something. That Stonehammer has something, but we have to wait until... Oh, he can't equip it. Why can't he equip it? He has another one. He is level 15.
I don't see it.
There we go. He did equip it. Okay, that's another
the Stonehammer,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't have really much on it, sadly.
No.
Oh, okay. DeadandDoom has probably a vendor recipe cleaver that he augmented 10 fire on. It's 53 physical. So yeah, if any of the players can find a fast boarding axe with just enough damage, they should be doing quite a bit in terms of AoE clear.
I think so. Helmannn got a really good axe with his boarding axe sitting on 54 fists and increased crits, some cold grass on it.
Wow.
So that's a really, really good axe for him there. I think that's going to carry him quite far.
Oh yeah, I definitely think so, but DeadandDoom dropping a unique quiver. I think something new you'd be happy about. Currently looking for Oak. Gets a good
he's actually
layout.
killing him.
He's killing him, yeah. Going for that skill point. Yeah, it's a very interesting decision. It is very time-consuming to kill Oak, depending on RNG. You get that Warlord's mark on you, get stunned a lot. He uses Immortal Call usually, but in this fight, he's only used it once. Wow. That was really good Oak RNG.
Yeah. Generally, this guy has so much RNG. I think he stole it from the other guys. But I think that if you have really good gear, those 2 skill points is worth quite a lot. So if you feel that the gear is like on a really good level, going for that kill can absolutely be worth it instead of actually saving, maybe trading for movement speed or attack speed. And in this case, you could save in Oak for the time kill as well. I think that with good gear, it's better to do the kills because that didn't take him more than, 10, 12 seconds or something like that?
Yeah, that was good. I would say that was worth it. With the level 16 and that cleaver, again, you're sacrificing your AoE clear for that single target damage, and I think in this fight specifically, it definitely paid off. Oak didn't really put up much of a fight. He's tired of using Immortal Call. Self-cast Immortal Call in 2017, who does that? Come on.
Exactly. We see DeadandDoom just getting more and more lucky. Just equip a pair of new gloves with some strength and extra added cold and lightning flat damages to his attacks. It's just looking better and better. He did save a Lyra. Did you see that? DeadandDoom saved a Lyra.
I can understand that. I mean, like we were talking about before, the mana cost can be a little bit annoying. Those resistances can be a little bit annoying. Maybe he's not picking up much. At level 29, he should have the entirety of the ranger side of the skill tree. So I can understand it. We'll see if the other players also go for the same choice.
Yeah, it's going to be rather interesting because we talked a lot about the mana, and it is a really, really annoying issue when you're leap slamming and doing Sunder. So saving a Lyra could be a really strong choice there.
Yeah, for sure. The first one to enter ruins, the mandatory immediate blue pack for him, but also a Katarina. So masters can be really tricky in this zone. We'll see how that works out for him. What is Gucci doing? Oh, okay, he's going through the road. For a second, I thought he already saw the exit and just was running around, but no. It's looking pretty good. Entering wetlands just now. We'll see what he chooses to do with Oak.
Yeah, that's
And,
rather interesting because Gucci's actually equipped a 1,000 ribbons simple robe. So it's going to be really interesting if he's going to stick with that because that's really good for in terms of damage as well.
That's pretty nice. Oh, okay, the Herald doesn't link anymore, but he chooses to kill Oak as well, getting quite a bit less RNG. Oak with that permanent immortal call. Okay, that was okay. I think that was like 2 immortal calls. That didn't look too bad. Fightgarr killing Creighton. He's going to be having to make the decision soon. With Helmannn sadly quite a bit behind still.
For now.
Just now going through Weavers. For now. We'll see. He is, again, the Leap Slam specialist, and Act 3 and Act 4 will be when the Leap Slam will really, really make a big difference.
Something that is really interesting in the current state of the race is that if you're looking at every guy's gear right now, these 4 participants, you can see that both Helmannn, Fightgarr, and Gucci has 0 increased movement speed, whilst DeadandDoom has been sitting on a 10% movement speed and then replaced them with a 15% pair as well. The other ones are still sitting with 0.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, some people might say, oh, you're leap slamming most of the time. Yeah, that MS makes a difference, especially if you've got a little bit trickier RNG like Fightgarr. I mean, some might even call it bad RNG like Fightgarr right now. You got to go to town a lot more often than the other players. You can see that he's really fiddling with his inventory, trying to get those ID scores, trying to get alterations. It's super important that you're able to pick up, you know, at least the Herald from the quest, and then you get at least the Blood Rage, maybe a second faster attacks, something that makes it really comfortable in Act 3 for those fast Sunders. But something a lot of people forget about Sunder, actually, that it does have an attack speed penalty. So having that attack speed on it makes a pretty massive difference, especially if you've got a slow weapon.
Oh, absolutely. And even if you had some extra attack speed from the duelist, it will be noticeable.
No, Gucci drops the Quicksilver and runs away from it. No, Gucci, pick up the Quicksilver. I don't get it.
Sorry?
I don't get it, really. The Quicksilver, you don't need those 2 potions. Well, he is using level 12 potions. I can kind of understand that. I'm not a huge fan myself of using level 12 potions, especially if you've helped Alira. Like, those level 6 potions can keep you leap slamming all the way through. Maybe I'm just slow.
Yeah, exactly. Like we talked about before, this whole idea of using a lower level mana flask, just roll on the regeneration instead of capping it and be forced to use another charge on it. I don't know. I think that a lot of people are underestimating the power of movement speed, and sure, DeadandDoom has been getting a lot of good RNG, if you can put it that way. And he's in the ranger side of the tree as well, just pushing out more and more speed out of this build. But he is in the lead with 2 levels above the other 3, which are all level 16 right now. And I think that movement speed is doing so much for him, so it's not to be underestimated.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, those slight positioning changes that you have to do with Sunder to just hit enough mobs. Yeah, that MS is going to help him out. He is getting a lot. He's going to be very lost in Ancient Pyramid. Wow. Took a very risky route, not going to the left side first. So we'll see how punishing this is going to be for him. Might even be a middle layout, which means that he's going to go for a full circle here. Wow, yeah, that's going to be very punishing. Definitely gives an opportunity to a lot of the other players for catching up. Oof, yeah, that
then
is
again,
a struggle.
he's level 19 right now, and this is the level 20-ish, 21, 22 area. So he's getting a pretty good experience for it, so it's not all too horrible, because at some point he will need to get some experience prior to the Malachi fight.
Yeah, I mean, these mobs generally don't give nearly as much experience as the Act 3 mobs, to be honest. You might be looking okay on EXP, but if you're backtracking like that, it's going to cost you quite a bit of time.
Oh, absolutely.
Oof. Fightgarr. Tragedy after tragedy. Hits a master. Hopefully this won't be a dead end. Yeah, it's something you have to commit to when you see that master is checking all the way in a layout like this, but oftentimes it's just a big-ass dead end. But yeah, The
Yeah,
Master
it's really
definitely extended his layout massively. Makes a pretty big difference. And also, from what I've seen before, his Oak layout was also really bad.
Yeah,
So
it's been having really bad luck there. Helmannn killed Oak and seems to be going to help Alira as well. It does look like that, right? He did
Yeah.
fight the Harbinger pack, well, half of it at least.
yeah, he could still be helping her. Let's see how he figures it out. Gucci getting quite a bit of EXP, soon hitting level 18. Pretty important to hit that level 18. You get faster attacks and all of that equipped. It's really nice.
Hmm.
With DeadandDoom already hitting Vol, switching around his gear quite a bit, not making the same mistake Fightgarr did. You can see that he stays focused, has a Topaz that he does not equip, I don't think. And it's a
He did have
35
a
minute.
two-stone ring, so I think he's settling with that one, since it's fire lightning grass, and using the iron ring. I'm not sure why would you settle with a two-stone ring. Oh, that's why, because it's rare, giving him attack damage. Holy shit. The
Yeah,
luck on this guy's gear.
that has like more damage than his actual weapon. That is just
Yeah.
that's pretty
If you
crazy.
looked at his belt as well, he's actually sitting on 20% reduced flash charges used as well on his belt right now.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. 20% flash charges reduction. If that was on a caster, that is the ultimate drop for a caster. But yeah, this is a
Yeah.
melee only race, so not too many regrets here, but this is looking crazy. His time 35-50 Vol. Honestly,
Yeah.
his Act 2 kind of ended up being somehow a little bit slower than I anticipated. With a very powerful Act 1, maybe the pressure is getting to him a little bit. I think we can safely assume that the layout on the Ancient Pyramid definitely cost him around those 50 seconds that he probably should have had. But
Absolutely.
still an amazing performance nonetheless.
Absolutely. We'll see if we have the gearing and the other characters in terms of movement speed, and that's been a topic before. They're still sitting on 0 on all others but DeadandDoom right now. We have Gucci moving himself up towards the next set of stairs there. Or he's ignoring it. He's getting another level? No, he's not. He's going into the Ancient Pyramid right now.
Yeah, but that he took a pretty big risk going through the middle, and you can see that in this case the Haku actually helped him out because it shortened the layout a little bit, and yeah, a lot of the times he would have either hit the layout where Haku was, or sometimes he would hit it directly to the left. So Haku definitely pulling some strings here. But DeadandDoom also has double damage gloves.
He does. Cold and lightning damage.
I'm scared of looking at it. Every time I look at his gear, it's just scary. It's like he's sucking the life out of Fightgarr, honestly, who's really struggling with gear right now.
Absolutely. I think that in terms of gear, DeadandDoom is absolutely in the lead right now. And I think people should not be underestimating the benefits of using that 1,000 ribbon simple robe that Gucci is sitting on right now. But the rest of his gear is not that great. And I think that Helmannn would be the one on taking the second slot in terms of gearing with his faux edge boarding axe 3-link there, together with his other gear pieces. It's looking really good, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Helmannn just now, he did hit level 19 in Northern Forest, so you can see that he's a lot more focused on getting those early levels, getting to that level 18 as fast as possible, being sure to utilize the faster attacks, and yeah, right now I think he's definitely going to be catching up quite a bit. Perfect maneuvering through the bridge. Oh my god!
That was beautiful.
5,000 MMR leap slams, didn't get stuck on the bridge one time. I usually jump in one place 4 times before giving up.
I know that feeling all too well.
Yeah, well, Gucci triggering Vol in a pretty good time still, 3840.
Oh, it goes down immediately. It's so annoying. Same thing for Fightgarr.
Oof. Yeah, that is quite unfortunate. Jeez, DeadandDoom already got Clarissa nice and figured out. Your boyfriend's dead, no big deal. Gets the sewer key.
And he also picked up a pretty good Topaz ring right there that he crafted that also gives +2 damage, but it did replace his iron ring to get that extra lightning resistance, which I think is really good as it's coming down to those notorious discharges now in the sewers.
Oh yeah, definitely so. Even if your captain resistances, sometimes the discharger just looks at you wrong and you just fall over instantly. He's
Yeah.
kind of... is he going for the blue back? Is he going for the bust? Okay. Picks up the bust. Maybe he thinks he's going to get them on the way. Maybe he thinks it's worth the time. Maybe he knows he's in such a massive lead that he can just play it a little bit safer. I mean, the player who I think he would consider the biggest competition would be Gucci. And he knows that Gucci has a death already.
Exactly. I saw Fightgarr having some issues with trading his weapon. He did have 2 axes with him to the vendors to get the highest rolled one with him, but it took quite a long time with the vendors there. Not sure if he did actually get a satisfying result out of it either.
I don't think so. I don't think he got it. That's the thing too. A lot of these players are looking to use like very basic weapons, while DeadandDoom did go for the crafted weapon, and it's been really paying off. We'll see if he's going to get enough blacksmith stones to secure him a safe Malachi kill with that decorative axe later on.
We can see that Fightgarr was also complaining about his DPS in the chat right there for us.
Oh.
So I don't
Yeah.
think that he's very satisfied with the damage right now. As long as he gets the levels to equip that axe, I think he should be a lot better with it and gets an augment on it. And if he gets a good roll there, I think he'll be back on track in terms of gearing compared to the other guys.
Honestly, Fightgarr deserves, I think, a lot more credit than we're giving him here. He was using a level 6 weapon until a level 15 weapon, and you might be thinking, like, oh, okay, he found a good weapon. No, he's using a goddamn stone hammer. Like, that thing is not good at all. So, honestly, considering everything, the fact that he is catching up to Gucci is just a miracle. His experience really pulling through. Fightgarr has been racing since season 1, so he's been playing forever. I think he's actually been racing longer than anybody, maybe except Helmannn, who's also been playing since season 1.
Yeah.
With breaks, however.
I missed if DeadandDoom got all the busts or not. Did you see that? Now he does have all 3 busts. He does have all 3 of them, and he's going into Dock. So I was leaving a portal outside of it and going into the Lunar's Temple right now.
Well, he is level 20... Is that a level 23? Yeah, okay. He's level 23, leaving a portal, going to Solaris. Has the waypoint too, I believe. Hitting a massive blue pack. I mean, when isn't he hitting a massive blue pack?
Exactly.
Helmannn hitting Vol with a 42-minute time, but he is... I think it's starting 19, but I think he might be level 20. I'm not exactly sure.
Helmannn is level 19 right now.
Okay. That's really weird. I think he was leap slamming a lot. I wasn't quite paying attention to his leap slams, but to his layouts, but it did seem like he took quite a bit of time, with Fightgarr hitting a pretty smooth piety trail, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. That was a really fast one, just straight into her. Yeah. Looking good as well on level 21.5 right now. He's actually gone above Gucci.
Yeah, and Gucci also had a corrupted zone, and despite that, they're on a pretty similar pace. Helmannn fighting Vol with those level 6 and level 3 potions. That can't be doing him any favors. No Topaz ring in sight. Taking big lasers to the face.
Looking really dangerous there with those life pools.
Gets another ad face. Now that is annoying.
Yeah.
Right before he goes down, he has to kill more ads. I believe that's his 3rd one.
I wonder if anyone's actually going to use the culling gem on like an off slot or something to do that last couple of seconds skim off on the timer.
Honestly, it's so difficult with melee characters to get enough alterations. If you can, you want a second herald. If you can, you want another faster attacks. Obviously, you have to use Blood Rage like utilizing your blood rage is one of the toughest things. Honestly, it seems like such a simple thing. Just use it every couple seconds. If it drops off, not that big of a deal. But min-maxing your clear to the point where you don't have to cast blood rage over and over, and regaining your frenzy charges makes a massive difference. So I think if you've got an abundance of alterations, yeah, going for the Culling Strike can help you out. But generally, this is the sort of RNG that we can only really expect out of Dead and Doom. And even in his case, he doesn't have it.
Not yet, at least. Not yet. But if he keeps up the way look at that Leaf Slam into the Sulfite. That was such a beautiful run there. He's got a really good docks layout as well. It's level 24 right now. Let's see how long he's going to stay here before he starts progressing.
He did enter docks at level 23, which is a pretty massive penalty. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of entering docks at level 23. I think that's something that Helmannn is really preparing for. That he will be level 24. And generally, if you can be level 24 in docks when you're entering it, you will save yourself quite a bit of time. Because at 23, you're penalizing yourself by a pretty massive amount. Especially considering that, he's got everything he needs out of there. But he's still sticking around and looking for more mobs. Looking for the waypoint, actually, even. And we'll see if he's going to choose to farm it up a little bit.
Yeah.
A safe level, you only really need to be level 26 in Aqueducts to feel safe, which is, he's not that far off. And at that point, it's only, it's only 3 more levels and you're where you need to be.
I think he's looking really good. I think Dead and Doom has a really good plan for what he's going to do right now and going towards Piety. Level 24 right now is progressing really fast, very efficiently with his leap slamming and everything. I think it was really solid for Dead and Doom right now. We have Fightgarr coming into the battlefront right now, looking for that waypoint and getting those pieces for the cockroach lady.
Yeah, again, he really pulled ahead of Gucci, and something to keep in mind that he did end up with a 43% physical vendor craft. So that's why he was messing around with it so much, because that's not that great. Again, RNG really not working out for him.
No, he actually did not go and take up the piece there, the ribbon spin or whatever it's called, and he didn't put a TP up outside dock. So I think he's losing a handful of seconds now for going into Lunaris without those prerequisites set up before. So
playing it a little bit safe. I mean, every now and then stuff like that can really bite you in the ass. You're expecting to have a TP, and then you might have to log out in Solarius, and then you're rerunning it again. It can be pretty tough. Something I guess important to point out, because it does seem like the other players are closing in on Dead and Doom faster and faster. And honestly, part of the reason for that is that everybody except him has a Broad Axe now, which is the fast level 21 base, versus Dead and Doom, who's still using the slow cleaver. I think that's going to make a pretty massive difference.
I think it's going to make enough difference for the other ones to have somewhat of a shot to actually catching up now before the tension rises towards the Malachi fight during Act 4 and the progression, the last progression parts towards Malachi. But for now, the lead that Dead and Doom is sitting on is very, very solid. The only one that is really good on the levels right now that can do really well in catching up would be Fightgarr, actually coming up from being among the slower parts of this race and really catching up and going above Gucci, as you said earlier as well.
Yep. Yeah, he's a full zone ahead of him now. Although, okay, no, I thought Gucci for a second there had the dream layout. The 1 in 100 Solaris layout where you can just immediately get over to the waypoint because it's on the other side, but no. He has to go all the way around. Ooh, Dead and Doom getting another Blacksmith Stone. Not exactly sure how many he's sitting on. Oh, something that I forgot to mention, and this has happened a long time ago now because I already saw it, I think, already in Act 3. Dead and Doom is sitting on a Bismuth Flask too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, that does a lot. Especially for the Piety fight coming up now. He could possibly even tank the cold phase of Piety if he's been a little bit careful with that Bismuth Flask. I think that should be more than fine. It's basically just the cold damage portion of that being the dangerous part.
Yeah, certainly so. And he's also got the level 24 and level 18 Flask. Well, if you were to compare it to, for instance, anybody else's Flask, Gucci sitting on level 12 Flask, Fightgarr sitting on a level 6 and a level 3. Same for Helmannn. I mean, Well, Fightgar's got even a level 1 flask. It's really not looking that great, opting to use 3 mana potion mana pot flasks.
Yeah. Now, when we're racing in these type of sequences, increased resistances is not something people value that highly more than to specific boss fights. But since we're going all the way into that Malachi kill in Act 4, like when you come up to the end of Act 3 and towards Act 4, resistance towards the random enemies actually starts to prove useful.
Oh, yeah.
We have DeadandDoom is sitting on like 41% fire resistance right now, so he doesn't have to worry that much about that part. Really good on the lightning and some cold rust. But looking at the other guys' gear, I think that the Gucci has some really decent balanced resistance sorting right now, whilst the other ones are going really low in terms of that type of defense. That's going to be very scary, especially versus the discharge you see Helmannn is leap slamming at right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's really not that much you can do about it, but at the same time, every little bit of gear that you get, every little bit of resistance does count, because they will have very tough fights coming up. While the Malachi fight itself is, as long as you've got the mechanics down, you're doing pretty well. Compared to the Calm fight and the rest of the fight, they're going to have to focus on picking up a lot more gear. Piety, no. Didn't do fighting
Bismuth
Piety.
Flask is doing so much.
Oh my god, the damage.
Yeah, look at that. He's just face tanking with that Bismuth up.
He doesn't care about anything.
That does so much.
Gets a bunch of useless items. Okay. Then it doesn't pick up anything at this point. He knows that he's got okay-ish levels. Actually, he's only level 25.
He did get a weapon recipe.
Oh no, he is 26. Okay, it just updated. I thought he was going to be 25, and yeah, that can be pretty problematic, because if you're level 25, you have to farm in Scepter of God, and that's one of the worst zones to mess around in.
He did get a 56% roll on his arming axe as well, so it's not too bad. It's on the above the middle roll there. It says he was a rare rustic sash as well, though, so it's doing pretty well there in terms of weapons. But again, it's DeadandDoom with his RNG. What can we say?
Yeah, he's been really doing great this race. DeadandDoom doesn't have any RNG until it matters, and when it matters, he gets it. Again, this is as tough of a field as it can get. Honestly, if I had to do anything in this race, I wouldn't even want to participate amongst these players. Screw that.
Once we were watching DeadandDoom's weapon trading there with the recipe, we can actually see that Gucci is sitting on 15% movement speed boots. So he's the second player now to have movement speed boots. And we can see if he's going to catch up to Fightgarr or not, thanks to that extra movement speed. We're at the point
Fightgarr is fighting Gravicious, but he's struggling a lot with those really weak potions. There's a lot of degeneration going on. Yeah, he gets hit really freaking hard there. Yeah. Something that DeadandDoom wouldn't really take all that much damage from.
Yeah.
Sitting on 0 res. Like, literally 0. He has no resistances.
Yeah, that's going to be very dangerous. Any pack that has allies deals lightning damage or whatever, if you have it, like the blue packs that everyone is dealing extra elemental damage, it's going to be very, very dangerous in these fights, especially if it's connected with a Harbinger and whatnot. I think that the movement speed from Gucci now will actually allow him to catch up on Fightgarr, because that little extra quality of life does so much, even if we're in a point of the race where the leap slam is what's mostly being used.
And also, I don't believe that DeadandDoom has actually killed Gravicious. At least I haven't seen it. Gucci goes for Gravicious too.
Does it very well as well.
Yeah, his damage should be looking pretty similar, but he's upgraded his potion. He's got 2 level 12 and a level 24 flask now. So he's looking a lot better, with DeadandDoom sitting on 2 24s. And Helmannn and Fightgarr still living on the edge, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, something also important to point out, I guess, is that Fightgarr finally has his 3-link. I'm not exactly sure when he picked it up, but even at the end of Act 2, he was still sitting on that 2-link, so his gear has not been looking great.
Yeah, he just got his 4-link as well, and colored it and rolled it as well. So he's actually got his 4-link at the same time, so that's really nice from Fightgarr there.
I'm not seeing any alterations. I don't believe he has a... Does he have an attack speed gem in there? He has something in there. Oh no, it's the onslaught. So he's
Yeah,
still
it looks like the
off to
onslaught
use the
tag.
onslaught. Yeah. Okay, yeah. These players are duelists. Normally, if you were to be a marauder, you would be dropping that onslaught gem by now, most likely in a lot of the situations. But because they are duelists, they still have to continue to use it. They can't fully utilize a faster attacks.
Yeah.
What is okay? Gucci's heading into Lunaris too just now, with sadly Helmannn being quite a bit behind for now. Still, he is in Solaris now. Yeah, and it does seem like he's catching up to Fightgarr a little bit.
Dropping really low there from Gucci. He was almost dead.
Yeah.
That's like the only point in the game where armor is of use. It's from those tentacle miscreations. They do so much damage with those small hits.
Oh yeah, for sure. That definitely makes a massive difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Primarily, players are looking to pick up as much evasion as possible, but over here, the armor can also play a big role.
Oh, absolutely. In that situation, especially versus the miss, like any small hits gets mitigated so well with armor. Gucci is sitting on a really nice amulet. I mean, if he's gonna go for that hatred effect later on, he does have increased elemental damage with attack skills and everything as well. So that amulet's actually looking really good for him.
What's also looking good is DeadandDoom's Dominus kill. He does not care about anything. Face tanking with that Bismuth might even go for a slam face tank, honestly, at this point. I don't think it would kill him. And his damage is looking really, really good with the arming axe.
That is insane. And something to point out with that fight as well is that he actually has 0 lightning resistance. So that was all from that flask he got.
I do believe he has 26.
Let's see.
Because
he hasn't updated. Yeah, my bad.
He helped Alira too, right? So he has to have the resistances. With Fightgarr fighting Piety now, actually doing pretty good damage. Still on that boarding axe, doesn't really get any drops. And Gucci close behind, a lot closer than he was not too long ago. And DeadandDoom's already finished off Malachi, or excuse me, Dominus. He is level 27, about to hit level 28. I think we're going to see some big boy leap slams starting very soon
as well.
here.
Yeah, I think that he's just going to kill whatever pack is really big or a blue pack in front of him and just go for that Malachi right now. He's got really good gear prepared for it. He's almost level 28, and he's in probably going to reach into town of Act 4 before that 1 hour hits. I don't think he's going to spend more than... I don't think he's going to spend 3 minutes in the aqueducts. So we're looking at a really good timer here as well.
Oh, Gucci having a lot more unfortunate piety. Ooh!
Oh, 87 life left.
Jeez, tanking that double ice arrow shotgunned him just enough. Oh, he had to go through 3 different phases, so that fight took significantly longer than Fightgar's, who's already in the gardens. Well, I don't know. That was a little bit unfortunate. Well, Helmannn fighting Gravicious here. Did upgrade his potions, looking a little bit better. Fightgarr still a little bit stubborn. Still sticking to those low bob potions.
Yeah, he does. Helmann's damage there looked really good versus Gravy Sauce.
Yeah, actually, that was pretty good. I think he's still on the boarding axe.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has I think he just got some lucky hits there, maybe a crit or two, because that damage looked really good. At least compared to the other kills.
Fightgarr finally pulling out the big boy weapon. He's got a attack speed with flat physical damage weapon. Sure, that's a little bit less single target than a recipe weapon, but attack speed will play a major role in the upcoming almost never ending leap slam session that the players will have to go through in the mines and all the other fights too.
Yeah, that attack speed is so strong. It's like we were talking about as well about when we looked at the identifying of the gloves as well. If you get attack speed on the gloves, that's pretty much set for the rest of the race to use those gloves because it's so strong to have them.
You can get them really, like, you can get really decent attack speed on gloves really early on too. So we'll see if selling those gloves, might be something Fightgarr is still regretting. But oddly enough, yeah, none of the players have had any attack speed up until now, which is pretty major. And I think it can definitely change out the outcome of this race still nonetheless.
Yeah, I did expect DeadandDoom to be the first one to pick up, and you rolled attack speed actually.
Yeah, right. Yeah, same here, to be honest. But no, it really hasn't happened. I mean, maybe Fightgar's no life, no potions, never. Oh my God! Challenge is actually granting him some attack speed, dropping the easy. I think he should drop some. Yeah, I think he should. It's time to drop some wisdom scrolls at the Clarissa too, and get some freaking potions. Come on, man.
Yeah, I think he really needs to do that. The Dominus fight is not going to be a pleasant experience to watch with that type of life potions. But then again, the only one who has died was Gucci, right?
Right, but Fightgarr also hasn't helped Alira, so his gear, his resistances, like, it's really not looking good for him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see if this
Helmann's
pays
running
off.
into more dead ends, have you seen?
Yeah.
Finally got the stairs there. We'll see if he catches up soon.
Well,
The levels are looking.
Vol.
Yeah. The levels are looking pretty good here between DeadandDoom and but mainly between Gucci and Fightgarr, looking really tight in their progressions. We got a little bit of a 1-versus-1 race right now. Who's going to be ahead and start fighting with DeadandDoom, who just killed.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
don't
an
even remember
interesting.
his name.
Vol, yeah, that was really interesting because he went for a spectral axe pickup, which is a level 33 weapon, and it was actually a pretty good one. But got me wondering there for a second, like, is he actually going for level 33? He's got a decorative axe now. He is level 29, entering the mines, which means that he will start to get really heavily penalized very, very soon. Or maybe he actually is level 30 already now. I would imagine so. I think he was
29.
Maybe he has not updated yet. We'll see. I would be very surprised if he was still level 29. Having killed Dominus at 27? Well, he has to be 29 actually to equip the decorative axe, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. He's wearing it, so... and it gives him strength as well on the augment he got on it as well. So, I mean, it does look pretty good. It's not attack speed, but it's better than nothing.
Okay. Well, yeah, if he is level 29, then... At this point, he's leaping. I mean, we'll see this from the gameplay very, very soon anyway. But
yeah.
he should be flying. He won't be killing all that much, making sure that his potions are up. Well, one of the disadvantages, sort of, right now, is the fact that he is using that bismuth, so he is not regenerating as many flasks as the other players. Finds the spirit too. Very nice. Well, we've got Gucci and Fightgarr fighting against Dominus. Gucci hitting the face too. Wait, Gucci pulling ahead of Fightgarr. It's really back and forth again. Wait a minute. I'm looking at it. I'm like, wait, wasn't Fightgarr ahead? Yeah, maybe the movement speed boots making a massive difference.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's we talked about it before. Some people ignore it since it doesn't help the leap slamming that much. But some minor situations where you have to move, and even when you're looting, those adds up, and it gives you a lot of extra speed eventually, and that does skim off a few seconds here and there. And the saying about small parts becoming big. So
right, I get that. Well, really, if I guess some small parts for Helmannn would get bigger with that Jade, with the Karui ward drop just now, but he's playing melee, so he doesn't care as much. I believe Karui ward used to have attack speed, but not anymore. Or maybe, yeah, I think it used to have attack speed too.
I think so.
Yeah, he doesn't even pick it up, so he doesn't really care about any of the movement speed. He completely ignores the commentators. And Fightgarr is still on his mission of never ever, no matter what, no way in hell am I ever going back to town to recharge my flasks or getting new potions ever. I don't know if this strategy is going to pay off for him.
We'll see. We'll see that DeadandDoom has begun somewhat relying on his leap slamming. The question is if he's going to start skipping more, because he's still killing every now and then. But I think he knows he's in the lead and might be taking a little bit smoother and a little bit slower to be a bit safer, to be getting a few more levels prior to the Malachi fight, as he is in the lead.
I don't know. At this point, I think he's kind of upset at at himself, because he could be using a blink arrow setup right now to skip all of these phases. You can see that he's really not getting any XP out of these mobs. Being level 29, this zone I believe is 37, so he's 8 levels under the zone, and that's pretty freaking massive.
Yeah, it is. It is. He is killing packs though. Let's see, the blue packs is fine, but it is still killing the bigger white packs as well. I'm not sure if he's really trying to get some experience, or if he's just killing them for flash charges. It seems kind of odd, but we'll see.
No, I think he's going for the flash charges, honestly. I think he realizes he's not really getting any XP, and he just tries to keep going and keep up all his flasks for those secure boss kills. His damage is looking quite good. I don't think it's going to be looking that great on Malachi, honestly. Could make for a very interesting fight. He does have 648 HP, which is significantly more than a lot of the other players. I mean, sure, he's 2 levels above, but 2 levels don't get you 200 HP, as Fightgarr has 448 HP.
Yeah, we see Gucci on level 28 with 721 HP. Just got some new gear pieces there, going above. No, that's the shrine giving him the HP. That's why. Look at that. No accurate information now.
And I'm like, wait a minute, 700? I mean, I don't see anything that would indicate something like that. Except the big-ass massive shrine.
Yeah, I started looking at his HP bar. I was like, oh, it just went up. Oh, I must have equipped something.
Right, yeah. Well, I don't know. DeadandDoom is level 30. Looking for something here. Something that we do have to keep in mind is that Fightgarr does have that 4-link now. Sure, he might have not had a 3-link the majority of the race. Sure, he was just running a 2-link and his ancestral war chief thing was looking terrible. But now he's got gear. Now he's looking pretty good. Sure, no movement speed, but 4-link and a 3-link. Everything except his potions is looking great.
Yeah. I'm looking at Fightgar's gloves. Have you seen those gloves? Giving fist damage, dexterity, fire, and lightning damage. And accuracy.
And they're an evasion base too, so it makes a pretty massive difference. I believe that's a level 27 base, so that's a lot of evasion that he's getting here. That will definitely help him out. If only this game had some way of regaining the HP that you lose every now and then, I think he would be doing very, very well.
It's looking really good, at least. We see that Helmannn is finally reaching Dominus, coming into the Act 4 introduction very, very soon. That's pretty good damage, though.
Yeah, actually, Helmannn really stepping his game up right now. Fighting Dominus, I believe he was much further behind. Oh, what's that DeadandDoom's doing? He does have a blink arrow weapon swap. There you go.
And he's doing it.
Yeah, he doesn't get the massive layout, so this really only saved him a couple seconds. Didn't get the really good layout. We'll see if the other players have had enough for this.
It does look like Fightgarr does have a bow in his off slots. Don't see Gucci's inventory. Helmannn does not have a bow ready for this. I don't think he's played enough with the new stuffs to do that. Or am I wrong?
Well, this skip has been here for quite a while, but oftentimes, you know, you only get one pit, you get no skip, and it's like, does this really save me time? And it does if you're playing a duelist. It does cost you an extra transmute. You have to worry about picking out a bow. On a Marauder, something like that is way easier. If you've got the dexterity, you just get it and you go. Actually, I don't even know if a Marauder gets a blink arrow, now that I think about it. I've only ever done this with a duelist, so I'm like, that does sound a little bit suspicious. So yeah, Fightgarr does have a weapon swap. We know that. So he can definitely, if he gets a good Combs layout, if he gets a good Deresso layout, he can definitely save himself a lot of time. Also being level 29 in the mines, I think he's looking at about very similar penalties to what DeadandDoom is experiencing right now. And you can really see that DeadandDoom is not getting any EXP anymore.
That's going to take him ages if he wants to level up before the Malachi fight, and I doubt that. It's like we talked about before. It's going to be leap slamming and then kill for the charges. Just go for the Malachi kill right now. So this is just a leap slam race at the moment. I do see that Fightgarr is doing really, really well and actually catching up to some degree. So we'll see if there's going to be a heads-up fight between him and DeadandDoom, or if DeadandDoom is far enough ahead to kill Malachi before he even gets a chance to go in there.
Well, DeadandDoom did run for the waypoint, and Fightgarr drops. Fightgarr equips the level 18 flask. That's almost a level, a good level flask. But he finally drops, says it's fine, doesn't break his mentality, stays positive. But I don't think he's aware that DeadandDoom is fighting Comb right now. With a lot of damage too. Pulls those SRSs, deals a lot more damage to King Comb.
It's looking really solid though. Yeah, it drops really fast as well. It was really good output there from DeadandDoom. We see a bow coming in on Gucci as well in his off slot, and looks like she is actually spending the time to buy that mirror. Yes, he is. Look at that.
Get the blink arrow. I think he has. Does he have a 4-link pair of boots in his inventory?
He does, but I don't think they had movement speed, and he is sitting with the movement speed boots equipped right now with his plated greaves.
Interesting.
Helmann's still sitting on his 3-link, and he has a 2-link 1-socket chest piece right now. It's not looking too good on the RNG when it comes to gear.
I get it. Gucci doesn't care because he's already got a 4-link. His gloves.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's correct. We see that DeadandDoom actually got his 4-link right now on his chest. Just replacing his gear pieces right there. 3 red and a blue. Sorry, and a green. Looking really good there as well. On his way to Ricci. No. Teresa.
Yep.
They look the same.
Yeah, we'll see if he can pull through one of the tougher fights, honestly, when it comes to getting through Act 4. Some have even considered the Teresa to be tougher than Malachi, depending on the blade RNG.
Yeah.
Might go well, might not go so well. We'll see if we're going to be having a rip here. I kind of personally hope so, with both Fightgarr and Gucci having died once. Actually, now that we think about it, sure, Fightgarr and Gucci are ahead of Helmannn, but they died, so he's got 2 more minutes extra that I'm sure he's taking into account.
Exactly, and I think that if they're chatting their streams or telling them about their position and what the other streamers are doing right now, the other racers, I think they might be stressing a bit more, and then that's when the mistakes start to show really, really visibly as well. It's going to be interesting to see what's happening, because the Gucci and Fightgarr are so close to each other, just head to head right there. Whilst Helmannn is calmly and really safely bringing down that Vol Emperor right now.
Actually, it's quite a bit of damage that he's dishing out right here. Only really still using that broad axe, so you should be looking to upgrade to a decorative very soon. None of the players in the pits have opted to use the blink arrow skip. We'll see if in the comb area this will play a factor, especially for Gucci, who spent quite a bit of time trying to get the blink arrow very late on. The fact that he gets a layout without a pit skip will be pretty painful.
Yeah, you can save so much time with the correct layout, as you explained earlier as well. It does so much. I think that you talked about the rest of fight being harder to some people than Malachi. I think that as long as you have like a totem or something to decoy the enemies with, it doesn't have to be a decoy totem, just anything that the Ressa can hit. I think the fight's really, really easy, and you can skip some damage for a few seconds to move out of harm's way if you really feel the need to.
But that's the thing. This is a speedrun, right? We don't want to be using a decoy. We want to use that War Chief, We want to be delivering as much damage as possible. I don't think these players are looking to slow down anytime soon. But yeah, definitely DeadandDoom takes good care of Tereso. No rips, not even getting close to a rip. And he was playing it rather aggressively too. He wasn't moving around all that much, trying to deliver as much damage as possible.
Yeah, he stood right next to the blades and didn't move any unnecessary amount either.
Oh no, I thought for a second that Fightgarr got the big boy skip, but no, neither of the players get the big boy skip. Both of them in the exact same layout, being at the exact same spot too. This will be really close between them. If we see another rip, possibly Helmannn could swoop in there too. If he doesn't
Ooh.
die here.
Holy, that was so close.
That was...
With the
You could see that he was thinking about it for a second. He was like, should I Sunder and stun them, or should I leap slam out? And then the mob stunned him, so he couldn't do either. That's a real moment of panic there. Well, sees the passive point too.
That little mini heart attack. That does so much. Just get your focus straight back into the game as well. So that could be good for him as well. Just get the blood pumping.
Yeah, definitely so. But also something to point out, like, sure, you could go for level 30 for the Colossal Flasks, and you can see that all 3 of the level 30 players are using at least 2 Colossal Flasks. And but even though that has happened, DeadandDoom is sitting, despite being a lot further, at a lot less EXP. Gucci almost hitting level 31, and same for Fightgarr. So I think in terms of calculating how much EXP you're going to be needing for that level 30, yeah, DeadandDoom did a way better job here.
Oh, absolutely.
Fighting Piety. Ugh.
Ooh, got hit really hard there by Piety, but I think he's got this really, really easily as well.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't leap slam through the laser, I think it's looking great for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going down there, and there we go.
Well, but you can also see that now that all the players have sort of evened out RNG, that you've played enough, I don't think he's pulling ahead of the other players anymore. It does seem to be quite steady, with both Fightgarr and Gucci staying on a very similar pace.
Yeah. It does look like we got Gucci getting a little bit ahead of Fightgarr, and I think that's movement speed. Boots does that extra job for him. So he's not far ahead, but far enough to make it that movement speed be of difference for him.
I just noticed, I'm like, what is going on with Gucci's life? Why is he being so face tanky? Why is he sticking around all those balls for so long? But he's got an instant flask and a bubbling flask too. Really, giving him a lot of defense and allowing him to face tank a lot of the attacks from Com.
It's gonna be interesting to see the pre-bosses to Malachi that DeadandDoom is working on Chevron right now. Just having that bubbling and a seeding flask does so much to be able to just, ignore all attacks, don't have to dodge anything, just hammer through it, put a totem up to block some projectiles, and just, face tank everything with those flasks. It does so much in terms of speed for your character as well.
Yeah, definitely so. And his time is really good too. 1 hour and 16 minutes. It's definitely looking very great. Fightgarr taking down Colm and picking up his skill point. I don't know if Gucci did that. I think he definitely had the mission, but I don't think he actually remembered to pick up the point. Not 100% on that. He is sitting on 1 point, not really doing anything with it. Fightgarr looking to get this level probably sometime in the near future from those mana potion charges. And DeadandDoom fighting the Resto currently, obviously staying in the red. Why would you do anything else? You want to be in the red. Red makes you do damage. Also takes away your potions, with Fightgarr dropping really low. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that was so
I was like, just looking over the players, oh my god, DeadandDoom.
Oh, both DeadandDoom and Helmannn dropping low there at the same time, but I think that was a simple hit from DeadandDoom, so he was safe there as Dodor were going down. But Helmannn was in a really tight spot right there.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't think he's going for any of the skips. He is level 30, probably going to be hitting level 31 here. I think he's pretty committed to that. And I don't think he's looking to skip nearly as much as the other players have opted to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got Gucci fighting the rest, so Fightgarr very closely behind Gucci on the second stage, while Fightgarr just now entering the Resta's room.
Yeah, and DeadandDoom is just bringing down Malachi really smoothly as well. It's going to be going in towards Malachi very soon. It's going to be cool to see what time he actually will land on. So we have the 1 versus 1 fight with the Duressa right now working with Gucci, and Fightgarr. It does look like Gucci will have this much smoother than Fightgarr, but he also has like almost 100 more HP as well, so he feels a bit safer. On top of those extra seeding and bubbling flasks, does so much in this fight.
It makes a huge difference, honestly. That knowing that no matter what, HP is gonna be looking great makes a massive difference. And we've got DeadandDoom reaching Malachi 1 hour and 18 minutes, 40 seconds. Dodging a slam. We'll see how fast he can do things here. I mean, his weapon's looking okay. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, that looks really stable. It's smooth, it's easy. He's got it all under control. Oh, he takes a hit there.
He has a lot of fire resistance, but really very little lightning resistance. He does have the bismuth flask, which he has not really used yet. So saving it up for probably a lot of the piety stages. Not really exactly sure how his TP's looking like, but he might be playing it safe for the TPs. Doesn't really want to go back to town or anything like that. That would waste way too much precious time.
Oh, absolutely. He went in now to refill his flask, going into the second phase. He did use a bismuth flask during the piety phase. We'll see how phase 2 goes for him now.
As long as he plays it safe. 700 HP. That is more than enough, I think, for a lot of players participating in these races. Usually, even with 600, if you're doing Malachi on a Sunder build, you're gonna feel pretty safe.
This is looking really, really smooth for him.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Takes a little bit of a lightning blow there, but as long as his fire resistance is looking good, those fire traps on the ground won't really be doing all that much damage.
Yeah, and you can always initiate them with a totem as well if you really feel that they're clogging up the arena. I think that he's looking really good, like you said as well, with the 600 and 650-ish HP. You won't be the one shot, but you can get insta-gibbed if you're really uncareful or if you're playing really really aggressively. But he's still sitting at 700 HP, avoiding those one shots, and he's playing really nice as well when it comes to avoiding getting connecting hits and whatnot.
I like how he typed his name right there, /DND, very classy. Taking down the second heart. Oh, that is looking pretty smooth. He does go for the more range strategy. A lot of these melee players will stick around in more close range, triggering his melee attacks.
But I think that was his last portal, actually.
So taking a little bit of a risk here. But honestly, last heart, last portal, potion's full.
Yeah, and if he has to, he can just log out and go back in, and he's still in the lead. No one else is on Malachi. He's got this.
Yep, I think he's got a pretty secure kill here. But Fightgarr pulls ahead, which we will see in just.
Fightgarr pulls ahead again? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
But, we've got DeadandDoom finishing it off.
Oh, come on. He teleport? There we go. 1 hour, 21 minutes, 33 seconds. Deathless. DeadandDoom.
Tries to type something out.
Yeah, but
Forgot he typed out his name. Yeah, that's a really good time. I think he points out something very important. No War Chief. He didn't go for that Gravicious kill, as we've talked about earlier. And yeah, that was really smooth. You could definitely see that he, once the RNG was more evened out, I think he definitely slowed down, and it didn't seem like it was that big of a difference between him and the other players. But yeah, in Act 1 and 2, it was looking really great for them. Well, the other players now, it's very tight between Fightgarr and Gucci. Gucci pulling ahead, then Fightgarr pulling ahead. Now, currently, I believe that Fightgarr is in front, taking down one of the mini bosses. Gucci heading to the first one, opts to go to the right side, while Fightgarr goes to the left. So depending on these layouts, might be.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very tight to see who actually gets this. They've been so tight on top of each other. Whoa, going low, going out to refill their flask in HP. But they've been so on top of each other since since Act 2, I think it's been. That they've been really connecting on top of one another. One got lucky with a movement speed, and the other got lucky with the gearing. So it's going to be really interesting to see who pulls out that Malachi fight and performs the best out of these situations.
Gucci trying to make us feel sorry for him, pretending he's got no teeth. As soon as I said that, he changes his face expression. Okay. Yeah, but he takes down the first mini boss while Fightgarr is fighting the second one. The right side does take a little bit longer to get to, so this can still be very close. Both players have a death while Helmannn drops very, very low on that calm fight. His resistances are looking okay.
Oh, there we go with a rip.
Oof.
Yeah, he's got 69 fire arrows. That was pretty incredible that he managed to die there. But those SRSs, they deal physical damage with a 50% conversion to fire. So they do quite a lot of fist damage there, and that's what killed him eventually.
Yeah, he did get stunned, and that just finished him off. Oh, we do have Fightgarr with the last fight, which is Dodry. This fight usually takes a little bit longer, while Gucci has already dealt with her. Dealing with the second mini-boss, this is going to be really close. Well, Fightgarr playing it safe. Dodging quite a bit, gets the Spectral Axe, won't be using that in this race. Picks up a Topaz too. Actually, he's quite a bit more focused on gear than I was expecting. Sitting on his last portal scroll, so this Malachi fight is going to have to be real good. Because if Gucci's portals are looking great, then yeah, that little bit might make all the difference.
Yeah.
Still looking for the last mini-boss, while Fightgarr has triggered Malachi.
Yeah, so we'll see Fightgarr going into the first phase, which is really, really smooth. And I don't think he's going to have much of a problem with this one. At the same time, Gucci is on the last pre-boss here. It goes down pretty quick. So we're going to see if they're going to get a head-to-head fight. And keep in mind that the portal Fightgarr has is only one portal left. You can always log, but at this point, they're so tightly on top of each other that, you know, every second counts at this point. And we have actually only one portal on Gucci as well.
Ooh. Yeah, they're really head-to-head. No potion swapping, no portal picking up. Back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, DeadandDoom had a handful of portal scrolls, making this very, very easy for him to be able to go in and out as he pleased until the last phase where he had no portal scrolls left. Second phase now in Fightgarr.
Yeah, we'll see how the RNG. Gucci was getting quite unlucky with Malagaro. He was running around quite a bit, which cost him quite a bit of time. We'll see if Malachi can really fight back against Fightgarr Sunder here.
Looks like it's got a really smooth run for now.
Yeah, it's looking really good. But something to keep in mind that defenses for Fightgarr are looking a lot worse. He does have 581 life with a lot less resistances than Gucci.
Yeah.
So everything could happen is still here.
I think that Fightgarr is in that risk zone of actually getting a hard hit that could one-shot him at this point, whilst Gucci is covered from this, both resistance-wise and HP-wise. And that little buffer of ES is not to be underestimated if you have full HP when you take that full ES when you take that hit. But then again, we have Fightgarr on his way to the third heart before you go into the finishing kill of Malachi, whilst Gucci just got started with the first phase in phase 2.
Yeah. This is definitely very tough. Starting the third heart while Gucci is just now dodging some slams. Still haven't went on the heart. Just now going for it.
Dropping a bit low, but I think he's got this. As long as he doesn't die. If he dies...
Got it. We'll see if he gets a little bit impatient here.
He's playing it safe. There we go.
He's playing it safe. Yep.
Oh, Gucci almost dropped. You see, that's a hard hit that could have one-shot Fightgarr pretty easily there. But thanks to the HP from Gucci, he's actually covered there. And I do think we're going to have a pretty solid, determined third spot as well, considering Helmannn is quite far behind, but with 0 rips. But then again, Gucci's only died once so far, and 2 minutes is not going to be enough for Helmannn to catch up.
Yeah, I think so too. Something important to point out that, yeah, DeadandDoom was the only player to not die during this race. Also, on top of everything, so that's a pretty big deal. Well, Helmannn taking down the Resso, logging out, doesn't get the Great Mallet. Why would you? I hear that's Muldrin's weapon of choice, with Gucci taking down Malachi. Sitting on 2 deaths, actually. Wait a minute. Gucci died twice? When did that happen?
I didn't even notice that. So we had 2 deaths on Gucci. So that's 1 minute. Sorry, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 48 seconds. But I don't think Helmann's gonna do this in the next coming 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think Helmmann also has a rip. No, I think he's even got 2 rips actually at this point. So, yeah, I think this is gonna be a solid 4th place finish with DeadandDoom being first, Fightgarr being second, and Gucci being third. I think definitely a pretty good display, but you can see how big of a difference in the time the RNG made in those early acts.
Yeah. We got information here from Havoc on the stream as well. Helmannn does have 2 rips. Gucci 2 rips, Fightgarr 1 rip.
Mm-hmm. Well, players are messaging each other some naughty things. Where's the shit talk? Come on.
They're just coming up with bad excuses, and DeadandDoom doesn't want to reveal that he has sick streamer RNG.
Well, that's the thing. Honestly, all things considered, if you look at Fightgar's RNG, I think it's a real miracle that he pulled off second. I thought that Gucci will definitely get it. So on one side, it's quite an upset. On the other side, it's a real display of skill by Fightgarr, really showing his experience here with a lot of the melee classes.
Absolutely. I mean, gear can only carry you for so long.
Well, but Helmannn is still focused, still going strong. Stop picking up EXP. You can see that he did end up on level 32. He's not killing nearly as much as the other players anymore, or as much as he was doing before. And yeah, his damage is looking actually not that great. Jump
Whoa! Straight through the beat.
I think that's calculated. He knows exactly what he's doing.
He's got pretty good HP numbers down, but we saw DeadandDoom finishing it off at 701 HP, but he'd have a little bit different spec. He also had a little bit better gear in terms of defense. But then again, we do see that he's sitting on a Stibnite flask going, oh Jesus, again. No, it's totally calculated.
It's calculated. He knows what he's doing.
This is where experience comes in and shows how much HP you need to survive those beam leap slams. And I think that the HP does so much. We saw that Gucci almost got one shot with a 650-ish HP, 680 HP, where Fightgarr would actually have been one shot with. But then we see that both DeadandDoom and Helmannn, as well as Gucci, has been sitting on HP numbers covering from those high damage one shots. So we can only get those insta-give deaths if you're playing really, really aggressively.
Right, but that's also kind of what we were expecting out of Gucci. With those instant potions that he's had, he can really stand there and dish out a lot more damage, knowing that if he does get hit, he can regenerate his HP immediately. Exactly. So I'm sure he played it quite a bit riskier, and he knew how much damage he's going to take, and just like topped himself off every single time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It does so much. Like a lot of people are saying that you gotta get double Quicksilver flasks to be able to be top racing and whatnot. But in these races, I mean, getting those flasks with a seething or bubbling that late with a high level flask does so much more than the Quicksilver. As we saw the fights, some of the participants had to dodge a lot versus Piety. I think it was Gucci, right, that had to dodge quite a lot versus the Piety fight. And even tying 2 of the shots from the shot getting effect, the split arrow from the gold face. But having those instant heal flasks is just so strong to be able to just sit there and deliver your damage and never have to waste those several seconds in dodging the abilities.
Oh yeah, definitely so. Oh, he's fighting Shavs right now. Or excuse me, Malagaro. We're dropping well, but keeping it cool. Having everything calculated. Doesn't need the Cobalt Jewel. Is the Cleave gem a Cobalt Jewel? I don't even know.
I don't think that was unique. I'm getting so confused by his loot filter from Morris.
Yeah, okay.
I made the same mistake earlier.
A lot of these racing filters are really very too specific, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit too specific. I saw him drop in Act 2 on the right side of town. He dropped 2 white rings, which were in orange color, thinking like he got 2 uniques. But no, because one of them was an iron ring, I believe, and I thought that was the Black Heart. So far looking stable. He's not playing all too aggressively. He does have 2 rips. Moving gems in the middle of the fight. Okay.
He's got it secure. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. It's a very solid calculations in avoiding getting one shot, so he's got that going for him, which is nice.
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, I think he knows at this point. You know, maybe even earlier on, this was a little bit of a practice run for him. But even if you tune into his stream, he's playing it safe. You know, dropping that pyre ring. Just kidding, it's the filter. But you know, if you listen to his audio, you can tell that he's feeling safe.
Yeah. It's just relaxing, same tone of everything. It's not stressing. You know, he knows he's got this. Even though he's not in the top ladder of the ranks right now, but he feels confident in what he's doing. It's really nice to see this type of focus of racers as well. Same thing with Fightgar's. A few of his rips, he was like instantly, you know, just brush it off and type a few funny comments and just back at it again. It's really nice to see racers do that when you see a rip happening.
Yeah, you can really tell that their experience pulls through in situations like that. Because a lot of newer racers, I think, maybe are a little bit too harsh on themselves. Oftentimes, they criticize not too big mistakes with a lot of head shaking and a lot of upsetness. But definitely transitions. If you keep thinking about something you've done in the past, it's just going to cost you even more time.
Exactly. It's so important just get back on there. It's the same thing that we talked about before with both movement speed and being able to have seeding flasks to be able to tank. It's all about those seconds. That's what these races are all about. Making sure that you get as many seconds off your general progression, off from the timer, and you know get that for a final kill count on the goal of the race, which in this case is the Malachi fight.
Very much so. But just now entering the Malachi zone. Getting everything nice and set up. Chooses to use the Herald of Ash. We'll see how he's going to be managing his mana. Actually, his skill tree looking a little bit more interesting than the other players. He is quite a bit higher level.
Yeah. He did remove some of his attack speed there just to get the... Oh, God, there's another rip from him. Sorry, Helmannn. He did respec some attack speed to be able to get some more mana regen there, to be able to sustain that a little bit more effectively. Not sure if that is the best idea, but it didn't help him, sir. Oh.
I mean, I don't want to bring back bad memories here, but as much as some people like to call me out for my piety, you know, even piety in this fight has an actual voice acting where she screams "Helmannn" because you know, of that one famous situation where a laptop was involved one time. So yeah, he's definitely getting bad memories here right now.
Oh, no, he's got it. That's calculator right there. That piety in this phase, especially in the core map version, but also in the progression campaign as we're seeing right now, does a lot of damage with those red balls. I mean, I've seen 35,000 HP enemy guardians die to that ball by getting stun locked in it. It's just insane.
Yeah, it definitely does so much damage, but yeah, we'll see. Now that he has to deal with Malachi without the cheerful voice of piety screaming his name all the time, if he's going to pull through with no rips, so far sitting on 1 when it comes to the Malachi fight itself, and 2 leading up to it, brushing off a little bit of the dust. Yeah, this attack has definitely been causing him a lot of problems, choosing to look out there. I don't think he had any TPs anymore.
Sitting on 1 portal scroll, but I think he took the safe route there, just log in instead.
Yeah. Every time, when you're doing something like that, you think you're safe, you think you're doing fine. I think he knew that Malachi is spawning on top of the heart, but every now and then he's just going to throw one of those big boogers at you and you're just going to die instantly. So went for the safe way out. Why die if you can just not?
Exactly.
It's the general motto of everything in PoE.
Yeah. Oh, and there we go. Like, every death is 2 minutes adding to the timer, so I think that he decided to log instead of taking that 2-minute risk to save that time in. But now he's up on, what, 4 or 5 deaths? 5?
I think it's 5 deaths, but also, did you see that smile? I almost couldn't see my screen for a while there. Helmannn definitely keeping it positive. That's what you gotta love about him.
Oh, absolutely. Reminds me of my friend Cute Dog with a positive mental attitude.
Right.
It's so important in races as well.
Ooh! Helmannn, what is that? Some RMT?
Oh.
Is that a $75 donation?
That is a $75 donation. He might not have won the race, but he certainly won the hearts of the viewers.
Holy guacamole. Damn, Helmannn knew exactly what he's doing.
Yeah. So this was his plan all along. It had nothing to do
Right.
with winning the race.
Why would you have the attention on 4 players when you can just be the 4th player to be playing and all the attention is on you? He knew.
That is a really good strategy.
Yeah, it was a decision, I think, at this point. It wasn't that he lost a race, it was that he chose to be in the center of attention.
Oh, dropping low again. No, he's got this. He got this. She'll leap Slami right through a ball. Oh, he's good. He's good.
Yeah, he's good. He's got this. Right. Nice. Nice.
There we go.
Good
Oh,
fight.
look at that
Cheering a lot.
celebration.
There you go.
Solid.
Very good. It's good. You can see that Helmannn is really happy to be back in the thick of things. And I think, sure, he might have not made it. And I think in everybody's heart, he's still the duelist legend. And as soon as he has a little bit more time to practice, he'll pull through in the future races.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Because that's the thing that we've mentioned at the start, that Helmannn hasn't really had an opportunity to practice while a lot of the other players have been almost practicing non-stop.
Helmannn updating his title and asking if he did win.
He was close, but not quite. Ooh, getting wrecked by good player from Smash. Says at least you tried. Is that DeadandDoom?
6 rips as well on top of that.
Did DeadandDoom just message him with? Oh my god, it is DeadandDoom.
Calling him out, responding with that rude response.
Don't you just hate it? Somebody gets a big head and then you gotta deal with it and deal with it and deal with it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Ooh, but Helmannn keeping it cool. Uh-oh. Comes back.
Yeah, he's coming back and letting him know about the rules of the race. You're not supposed to embarrass him like that. That is not allowed. Congratulated him for trying. At least he's trying to be nice while still being rather rude. I think we're going to have to ask him about this in the interview coming up.
He's still trying to be nice while still being 15. Yep. Well, we do have a interview coming up, like mentioned, with DeadandDoom. In hopefully just a second. Hello.
Hello.
Hey DeadandDoom, how did it go for you? What did you think about the race?
Started out very well in Act 1. I had a really nice Merveil time. RNG was going good. Then I never found a chance or were refusing, so I never got war chief. That cost me a lot of time. And then my weapon also got 51% IPD, which is not nice. So I lost a lot of time in Act 4 due to not having a lot of damage.
Right, yeah. That's what we were thinking too, that your Act 1 and even Act 2 were looking rather good. I think your Act 1 was definitely the highlight in terms of RNG. Like, was there something you didn't have? It was really nuts.
Yeah,
but so overall, you would say that you were happy in the race. If you were to change something in Act 3 and 4, where it did seem like a lot of the other players did catch up just a little bit, would you say it was mostly up to RNG, or was there something that you could have done differently?
I don't really know.
All right. What was your plan when you started rushing towards the Malachi fight? Did you feel the need to go up to a level 30? I guess you started killing a lot of things on your way there, even if you had a lot of flash charges, or did you just play like you normally would whilst trying to speed it up a bit more? What was going on in your head towards the Malachi before the belly, that is?
Yeah, so you want to get level 30 for Colossal Flask, and then you want to kill some mobs to keep up friendly charges and onslaught. And also, if the spec is scary, I'll kill it, because I don't want to die.
Alright.
Something that is like an eternal question, I think, at this point. A lot of players have stopped getting a Quicksilver. do you really think it's worth it not to get a Quicksilver in a race like this? Would there ever be a race in which duration you would be like, okay, I want to get a Quicksilver, maybe for the extra resistances, or are you just like a Quicksilver hater?
I'm the earliest I'd never get a Quicksilver.
Right, you don't think it's worth it at all. So would you say that the movement speed boots, because you were really the only one with movement speed boots, did that like change anything, or did you really not feel it?
I mean, it helped. I got them in Prisoner's Gate, or like from Brutus, so it helped me from Prisoner's Gate until level 10, which was only like a minute. But yeah, other than that, it didn't really do much.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I think you were the only one at movement speed up till Act 3, I think. It was really cool because it minimized the time in the towns as well.
But I guess it helps in towns, yeah, a little bit.
Okay, all right, man. Definitely a regular in these races, so we really appreciate you participating. Any maybe some more words of wisdom for Helmannn? We did see that you messaged him a little bit at the end there.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about it?
Okay. Well, either way, thank you so much for participating in these races, man. Congratulations on the win, and hope to see you in the next ones. Oh, maybe are you still looking forward to playing some more Sunder?
Yeah.
Would
Hey,
you still?
I like Sunder.
If you were to participate in another race and you got to choose what type of settings or rules there would be, would you take Sunder as the prerequisite rules that you have to use, or would you choose another ability for that type of race?
I mean, I'm definitely the best at Sunder compared to anything else.
All right, so a Sunder lover, that is.
Mainly Leap Slam, but yeah.
All right.
Okay, man. Thank you so much for the. I see you're really starting to RP it. Not only are you the best player, but you're also giving Korean-like answers. We very much appreciate you, dude. Hope to see you in the next one.
Thank you.
All right, and we have hopefully Fightgarr coming up in just a second.
Yeah, that's gonna be really nice as well to see what he thinks about the fight together with Gucci. Welcome in, Fightgarr.
Oh, Fightgarr is muted in his microphone.
Yeah, you should be able to hear us. Yeah, there we go. Hello. Or not.
Oh.
How about now?
Yay!
Yes.
Nice.
So how did it feel for you when with the race? Do you have like the Twitch viewers telling you the positions of the other participants?
No, I didn't even have my stream open, to be honest.
All right.
Okay, but overall,
Well,
how are you
suspicion
feeling? Because this was the first race really you participated, right? When it comes to these events, you've done a lot of runs, you do a lot of practice stuff, and you're very much known for your record times. Anytime anybody posts anything on Reddit where they're like, "Oh, I did this really fast," you're always coming up with a 2-minute faster time, going, "Oh, well, I was a little bit faster." So you haven't participated in the events before, right?
First race except for the one that we competed against each other in the Act 6 alternate start last week race.
Oh, I remember that. I
But, yeah.
lost. That's right. I remember now. I got my ass kicked. Okay. Yeah. Oh.
That's why you don't
sorry, what was the
remember.
question?
All right.
What
Now
was
I
the
want to
question?
ask you about that race, but no. The question was overall, how are you feeling about these events, and
how are you feeling? Yeah,
are you
yeah,
looking
that's-
forward to the next ones?
Yeah, this was fun. Just wanted to go as hard as possible. The start was really terrible. Felt like quitting, but can't do that when you're a professional racer, I guess.
Right.
It's like a
Yeah, that's what we
39-minute
were
battle.
seeing.
It's pretty disgusting. Just
Yeah,
nothing went right. Long story short, it was just awful.
Right,
We
yeah.
pressed on and things got better by Act 4. I started actually getting some drops. Didn't get any health blasts ever. Maybe should have done something about that, but it was more fun to just keep going.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Like we discussed that maybe should have gone into the vendor and get some flasks. You were looking at really low level flasks quite late into the game.
I
How did
was
you
kind
feel
of
about
poor. You may have noticed how few anything was actually in my inventory. I couldn't afford. There were a ton of times where I wanted to go to the vendor to buy something and realize, I don't have any transmutes. I don't have anything. So that happens, If it's a speedrun situation, you definitely reset at that point. But it was cool to keep going and just to see how things turned out. So like I said, it went better in Act 4. Got some decent items. Almost died a million times, but that's normal.
Yeah, you actually, that was really funny because I think you were on a 2-link like all the way to Act 3, maybe even. It was
I
something
forgot
really
about
insane.
my offhand. That was pretty stupid. I had an offhand at like level 10, and I threw some gems in and just kept going. So I could have been on a 3-link quite a bit earlier, and my damage was terrible because I was using nothing for a while, and then that terrible stone hammer that was really slow. So I could have upgraded that. That would have helped a little bit, but I don't think it was even my damage so much. It was definitely damage early. It was terrible. Yeah, not a good one.
Honestly, we were quite surprised, I think, because despite everything in Act 1 and Act 2, like you said, you started getting some attack speed later on. You got the weapon with the attack speed, which definitely helped out with the leap slams. But all things considered, it's like DeadandDoom was sucking out the RNG out of you. Honestly, it was
typical DeadandDoom.
it was a bloodbath when it comes to the RNG. But yeah, what did you do to keep your cool, really? Because you were level... Yeah, you only changed to that stone hammer, right? And before that, you were using at level 6. You didn't even have a boarding axe. So
white jade hatchet forever.
Yeah. So do you just stay cool in those situations, or what do you do to prepare yourself for something like that?
I mean, what can you do, right? That's just how the game works. Again, it depends on what you're doing. If you're doing a speed round at home, like I've been doing the last little while, trying to get good times, then you reset at that point. And sorry about the fire truck or whatever that is.
Okay.
But when it's a race, you just press on. You at that point, that's when you start just YOLO alking things, trying to improve your situation. But again, I didn't really have that opportunity either. So that Stonehammer was kind of nice, I guess. It's better than absolutely nothing.
I mean, looking at other people's gear, it wasn't that great.
It's the slowest weapon in the game, I think. It's basically not what you want, but yeah, it was better than a white level 6 weapon, like you said.
Yeah, it was like the best you could do in this situation. I'm curious, actually. I mean, you didn't know what position you had. You were head-on-head, like 1 versus 1ing together with Gucci for like quite some time. Like you got caught up and went above him, and then Gucci caught up and went in front of you. So you had like this fight throughout the entire sequence after you guys hit Act 3. But you didn't actually know anything about this. How did you feel? Like, because we talked about the gear not being good, but despite this, we saw that the racing experience really, shined through and showed that you were a really talented racer in this. Do you feel that you had enough practice for this type of race, or did you feel that you could have done better if you practiced more?
No, honestly, I've done this race a lot, especially recently trying to do Act 10 runs, and we uploaded, me and DeadandDoom both did a run where we wearing twink gear and trying to do this basically the same run, but twice as fast, literally. So that's a lot of fun. So I definitely not rusty or anything. Just felt like things didn't go my way. It's good to know that it was kind of close. At least there was something for the crowd to watch.
Oh, it was entertaining a lot.
You were picking up a lot of speed, and I mean, actually, you were third for a big chunk of the race, and then you pulled ahead of Gucci. So that was really nice to see. But you have experience in that, right? You've been racing pretty much since season 1, I think.
A little bit, not seriously, I guess, as seriously as you can do this kind of thing. But yeah, I've definitely been racing a long time. A lot of duelists.
Would you be comfortable with racing other classes too? Because primarily I see you messing around with duelist, marauder. Have you been practicing other classes?
It's so bad that I never want to actually play Ranger, but I can definitely do Ranger, and Marauder's basically the same thing, right? I'm learning Shadow now. That's something. Maybe we can do a Shadow race sometime in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I asked DeadandDoom the other question as well. If you got to choose your own set of racing ability or the rules, what ability would you choose? Would you stick with the Sunder approach? DeadandDoom really appreciated the Sunder and would probably do that again. But if you got all the power in deciding yourself, what would you choose?
Yeah, this is pretty much it. This exact race. Again, as long as you need a little RNG as a duelist, because duelist doesn't even get Sunder, for example. You have to buy it. So you have to have some RNG go your way, especially early to have a good run. But the way the meta is right now, I think this is the fastest you can go, basically. So it was cool to do a race where everyone was pushing it as hard as they could.
Mm-hmm. So another Sunder lover.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't. Well, we can talk about nerfs. Everyone's got their own opinion. I mean, it's obviously really good. I don't know why it has such a good single target. Well, I do know why it has such a good single target, but I don't know why GGG decided to do that. It's probably a mistake. It is a lot of fun, though. Obviously, it'd be nice if there were other skills that were competitive with it, more competitive. So I don't know how you do that. Maybe you nerf it, sure. Or maybe you buff everything else. Everyone's got their own opinion on that.
Yeah, well, it used to not be as nearly as dominant, right? Like Melee was kind of the underdog in a lot of these races, and casters were always pulling through.
Yeah, well, they buffed it, and they buffed one-handed weapons. And then we realized that we don't really need any life nodes to beat most of the game. So I think once people figured that out, we realized we can go way faster than we used to. Back in the day of jade choppers and pole axes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much for participating. Hope to see you in the future races. Are you looking forward to the future races?
For sure, anytime.
Okay. Well, maybe we're gonna have another championship. We were laughing a little bit that this is kind of a championship because it's the best skill with the best players. Honestly, seeing you participate in this, against DeadandDoom, Gucci, and Helmannn, I would say the big four of duelist racing right now was so much fun. So thank you again so much.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
Sure. Thanks.
All right, and we have hopefully Gucci coming up, right?
Yeah, there we go. Hi, Gucci.
Hello, guys.
Gucci, how do you feel? Did you know that you were ahead of Fightgarr, and then you were behind Fightgarr, and then you were ahead of Fightgarr, and then behind, and then ahead, and then behind again?
I mean, I knew we were pretty close, but I was like behind. I knew because I died in ship's graveyard too, like a blue cold snappers and a surface rower. So when I died, then I'm like, I like lost faith. I wanted to give up, but then I got good RNG in Act 3, and I was like, might as well keep like going for it. But then I've never done a run like past level 24 and duelist. Like I've practiced a lot of Val, practiced a lot of Izaro, but like I got all the RNG when I like wasn't too sure what to do. So
yeah, that's what we were talking about. That you're kind of the Vol expert, so to say. And even though your time wasn't actually much off of DeadandDoom's in Act 2, despite him having a significantly faster Merveil, I think he ended up with like something really ridiculous, like a 17-minute Merveil or something. It was really crazy.
17 something.
Yeah.
But overall, would you say your RNG was good? Was your run decent? From what we've seen, all the players really ended up with a pretty freaking fast Act 1. I think you entered prison at like 8 minutes or something, which is usually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I always aim to enter by 8 minutes, or if you don't do file on the duelist, that is. But my RNG, I got 1,000 ribbons. I guess that's like pretty good. Did you guys see that storm cloud of Brutus?
No.
No.
Yeah,
No, we've seen the storm cloud, but you like carried it around for a while, right?
Yeah. I was like,
Merveil.
no, I vended it for alts. I was like contemplating if Shrapnel Shot would be better than Cleave at that point. Because like until level 12 that is. Because Stormcloud's pretty OP at that low level. But I decided against it eventually. Because I think I got 3 linked gloves, I think. Maybe 3 links somewhere in Act 1. So I was like,
your gear was looking good, yeah. The links were looking really good early on.
Yeah, I had the 3-link helm, the 3-link weapon, and yeah, I don't know. I had like good gear, basically. I got an early essence as well, but and then Act 2 was I didn't get a whetstone for ages. Then I opened a strongbox in Val Ruins, and it was like 12 quality items. So I picked up 4 weapons, and picking up those 4 weapons and filling it in my inventory took like 20 seconds or some shit. It was like so annoying, and I only got the vendor after I killed Val, so I wasn't able to loot at Val. Yeah, pretty much. And then Act 3 was like just listening to DeadandDoom being like 3 zones ahead of me, and I'm like, kill me now. Oh, but I I got really lucky though. Like in docks, I opened a strong box and it was 20 quality items and a decorative X drop. So I was like, oh, amazing, man. Didn't even need to whetstone it up.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
yeah. We haven't even noticed that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, like the gear looked really good as well. You even picked up, was it 2 seething or 1 seething and a bubbling flask as well at some
Yeah.
point?
See,
How did
seething
you-
and bubbling.
Yeah, how did you feel when you looted that? Because that changes your approach to the boss kills as well. What was going on in your mind when you looted those?
I mean, I transmuted both of them. I was like, I transmuted the seeding in Crystal Veins and the bubbling somewhere in like after Comb or something. Oh no, just before Comb. So I was like, yeah, I can just do whatever on the boss and I probably won't die. But then eventually I die in like Harvest to random white mobs. I leap slam into a huge pack and just instantly die. Like, I don't think I even managed to click a single flask. Yeah, I think maybe this coming week I'll probably practice more duelists like Act 3 and Act 4. Because I was doing the Val runs. Like I started out at Merv. I did like 12 hours of Merv kills or something like that. Then I did 12 hours of Val. But then I stopped because every other race was like, oh, no Sunder, no Sunder, no Sunder. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not going to bother practicing this till, I don't know, GG has a race season. Then we had this, well, I think Fightgarr was saying that he's down for some races because the original event was cancelled. So when he said it, I'm like, yeah, Sunder Showdown, let's do this. Then I realized I didn't practice Act 3 and 4 at all.
Yeah. Do you feel that if you knew earlier or if you had enough time to practice the actual Sunder approach that you could have performed a lot better, or do you think that it would only have changed a few minor things?
No, definitely a lot better. Like you're practicing. Like it's crazy how much time I've like shaved off since I first started playing Duelist. Like I think my original Merveil times were like 21, and then when I practiced, I managed to like consistently sub 19-minute Merv. Then Val went from like 41-minute to like 37-minute averages. So like if I practice Act 3 and 4 more, I don't know. I probably can do like 120 like DeadandDoom. Like but DeadandDoom can do 115 or 112. So yeah.
Yeah, but I saw that you were getting frustrated that you are being described by some of the casters as a shadow player. Would you say you're primarily a duelist player now that you're practicing it so much?
I mean, I'm starting to play a Final Over Mine small now, so I don't know. It's like a mix of like what I feel like playing, I guess. The Final Over Mine is pretty good, eh?
Is it? Some might even say that it's better than Lightning Trap, huh?
I think it's very dependent on what the scenario is. Like in yesterday's race, I think the Final Over Mines was the better decision. Because like I'm gonna go Glacial Cascade Mine, so like I'm gonna want to pick up Mine Notes. If I go Lightning Trap, I'll be like stuck with no damage notes for ages. And I don't know, it feels like you get more XP per zone, Final Over Mining rather than Lightning Trapping. Like you
Right.
just kill a lot more shit because they just follow behind you and then they die.
Mm-hmm. Well, that actually brings me to another question. I asked the other guys as well what they would choose if you had all the power to decide what type of race you'd be participating in next, with all the rules and everything. Would you choose to go another Sunder race as the other guys have chosen, or would you do something else?
Level 40 alt start Headhunter race.
That's pretty nice, though.
Like starting
expensive.
starting in X6 or something. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of these guys probably have a Headhunter in standard anyways.
Gosh.
Like I have one in standard, so race to Kitava, easy.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for participating. Oh, actually, one more question. Are you happy where you ended in this race? Do you think going into it you were expecting to place higher or lower? How do you think you ended up against the powerhouses that Helmannn, DeadandDoom, and Fightgarr are?
I mean, I knew I was gonna lose to DeadandDoom. I knew I had to like play really well if I wanted to beat Fightgarr. And I don't know, Helmann's just rusty. I mean, he's still better than Ziz, but like he just needs some practice.
Whoa. Okay, some fighting words coming out at the end. Thank you so much, Gucci, for participating. Hope to see you in the future events. And yeah, congratulations too.
Alright, see you, dude.
All right. And we've got the last interview with Helmannn, who is muted. Hi, Helmannn.
Hi.
Hello, Alvin.
Hi.
How you doing, Helmannn? How you feeling? Some other players, Gucci especially, just now mentioned that you might have been a little bit rusty. Have you had any preparation for this race? It is the first race event that you are participating in, right?
Yeah, it's the first time I've played the game in 2 months,
Oh, wow.
so I did not prepare adequately for the race. There are definitely multiple areas I could improve on, but yeah.
Okay, but you were already familiar with the like one-handed meta and everything, right? You've already played that.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Because we saw that you were just struggling a little bit with the loot filter at the start. What happened there?
Oh, I didn't have a loot filter.
Like
So I
at
had to-
all?
Oh, I mean, all I had was like never sinks from the last update. So I had to quickly get one from Moores before the race started, and Moores is kind of like a tier 2 racer, so I don't know how good his filter is.
Right.
I'm kidding, Moores.
Yeah, I'm curious about that loot filter. Did you not find yourself confused by the, I think it was the jewelries that dropped in the same color as uniques? Because both me and Rice was like completely shocked every time something dropped. It's like, oh, we got 2 uniques of that guy. Oh, wait, it's not.
Yeah, I was definitely confused. I was not used to anything on that filter, so there's definitely some items I missed. Like on a normal filter, you have superior weapons highlighted and stuff like that, and those weren't. They just showed up. So lost out on a couple whetstones and other things like that.
Okay. So overall, how was your mentality going into this? Did you still expect to win? You are known as the duelist legend. So what were you thinking?
If I came back after 2 months not playing the game with 0 practice and like destroyed everyone, it would have been epic.
Yeah.
So since clearly that didn't even come close to happening, I need to practice a little bit to regain some of my abilities. But so next time y'all see me, I will be better, hopefully.
Because both me and Rice were actually rooting for you, saying that this guy, he's like the best racer we've seen in a long time. He's been here for many years, and he's a god on duelist. And it didn't really work out, but we were rooting for you. We saw there in the end of the race, you even won the heart of your viewers as well. So I think you did well, though, considering the fact that you've been, absent for that long. But what was going on in your mind? Did you have information from the viewers where the other guys' positions were?
I mean, I have I have DeadandDoom and Gucci on my friends list. So I would just check occasionally. I wasn't that far behind Gucci for a lot of the race. It wasn't until like I think late Act 3, maybe early Act 4, you pulled really ahead. But DeadandDoom had some good RNG, and he's practiced it a lot, so he just took off like he normally does.
Yeah. We asked the others as well if they had, or if you have all the power in the world to decide the rules of the next race you'll be participating in. The others have chosen Sunder pretty much, all of them, been Sunder lovers. Would you still want to do another Sunder race, or would you rather use another ability or another set of rules?
I would definitely want redemption on a Sunder race because this one was kind of embarrassing. But I'm down to do. I'd be down to do any race thrown at me.
Okay. Well, that's the thing too. Will you have time now to participate in these events? Can you practice? Will we be seeing more of Helmannn?
We'll definitely see. I'm still sorry. I got the hurricane destroyed or ruined part of my house, so that's under construction. So the past like month I've been living in different places, but I'm kind of settled down for now. So now it's just getting the time in between real life and other stuff going on to, stream and race and practice and stuff like that. But I'll do my best to show up more and participate more.
Okay. Well, Helmannn, it was such a pleasure seeing you in these races. Like Gazi mentioned, personally, you were my pick. You were also a very close pick of the people. I think if you participate in a little bit more of these, soon you're in the polls, you're going to be number 1. And hopefully, to me, soon in the races, you're also going to be number 1. So thank you so much, dude.
Yeah,
All
thank you
right,
for joining.
All right, man. Well, I think that is that. Havoc, what do you think?
Yeah, I guess that is that. Thank you guys for casting. It was awesome. I had a lot of fun watching the race. Even though Helmannn didn't win, he was a bit far behind. It was just like a feels good, man. You know, I was smiling the whole time. It just feels really good to see him come back, and you know, he looks like he's really motivated to race again. So that's awesome. Good to hear.
Very much so. Well, thank you so much, guys, for having me. Gazi, any final words?
Well, I think that, you know, as a little bit of enlightening tip for all the people that want to start racing, as we've seen from all the other people and a previous really talented racer like Helmannn, I think the final words would be that, you know, practice makes perfect, because with some practice, Helmannn would have done so much better. And it's really important to know that the time racers puts into this to be able to perform the way you've seen in today's stream.
Definitely so.
I could definitely agree with that as well. So, without further ado, we will be calling the show over today. Thanks again, guys. Coming up next week, we'll probably have 4 or 5 events. We're not too sure what they will be yet, but if you want to give your input, feel free to message Noogie or I after this event is over. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.